Ale fonsaje de. Ale fonsaje. Ale fonsaje. Ale fonsaje. Muna dabo sanka baluo. Ale fonsaje. Mbe useni dabo julalema. Ale fonsaje. Juloka manla maje. Ale fonsaje. Ni aja manla maje. Ale fonsaje. Suluo simbenele da. Ale fonsaje. Useni masata. Alale amansa andi ale ponsai mbaro da bodima ale ponsai mbaro da bodima ale ponsai enu mukunda da bodima ale ponsai alale bate jola ale ponsai mansole bate jola ale ponsai aye gambia bondi bata kono ale ponsai maje modu bele sewota ala be nyinkela ale bonsai manso be nyinkela ale bonsai usen bodanyani dobo ale bonsai dobo gae usen ale bonsai anata kombo tumami ale bonsai londo nata kulli ale bonsai okaelo adabo ale bonsai ayado kuoge gambia Kaya Mandela ale ponsai mayinduru kema ale ponsai ala fosalida bokema ale ponsai adale bate joda ale ponsai jilasi sedima ale ponsai ganja mane dimma ale ponsai sali suare dimma ale ponsai jari jalo dimma ale ponsai jari si se di male ale ponsai munaninde tata mailitu ale ponsai munanteni kumbole mude ale ponsai juguna Ale fonsaje de. Ale fonsaje. Ale fonsaje. Ale fonsaje. Muna dabo sanka baluo. Ale fonsaje. Mbe useni dabo julalema. Ale fonsaje. Juloka manla maje. Ale fonsaje. Ni aja manla maje. Ale fonsaje. Suluo simbenele da. Ale fonsaje. Useni masata. Alale amansa andi ale ponsai mbaro da bodima ale ponsai mbaro da bodima ale ponsai enu mukunda da bodima ale ponsai alale bate jola ale ponsai mansole bate jola ale ponsai aye gambia bondi
I'm confusing my dates. Alimbatova. Hold on 1 second. Confusing my dates. Okay. Bimu Ramizolet. Today is Thursday, the 5th of February. Thursday, the 5th of February. I mix up the dates. Okay. So mal welcome la current affairs show program auto mail joint and platform Sabolto. Buffalo, welcome to another edition of Current Affairs show. Third day in a row. Yeah, sometimes we'll do it like that. Sometimes we'll disappear for some days. But another edition starting earlier today, 8 o'clock, 19 past 8 in the UK. So Mbalbe controna back. Kal jay fanan ka fale ko alkala wati kumal menta alka Europe online bantaba lamoy I was watching quite a dramatic program on Kerfatu. Before I'm alive, okay, what a program that was. Interesting. Welcome to Current Affairs Show. Welcome to European Live Bandabala 3 networks, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Welcome back. TikTok butuo. Kunung aja likes all mang siaba ke mala muneketa. Kunung we only got 17K likes. The other day we got almost 100K likes. So be aram zolombal welcome la. Kal jay bang so I'll share the Marco likes on Fernando. It does help us. Thank you for being here. Alama alay kairo kentolbe alama ngamenyine na banko kan asona yala saje gaminol se bo nyo sabola platform auto nyo sabo warata alama dono jilan kan kayre kono nga banko lo ni sila kendo kan isaje bankol be development on finance focus ko nga bo nyo sabola because dolman do development start for on dolbe nyo sabola nina len bokay mangla welcome to Beautiful Line Bantaba Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Then welcome to another edition of Watan, the Nyalan and the Jama. Then Nibu Bahawa, the Len Gerim Tamit, the Nyan Rekengen. Like the program, then we had only 17K likes compared to the other day, almost 100K likes. So the Nyan Rekengen like program be, the repost, the share, the Day Dimbali platform be, the Day Dimbali Watan be. Mange ñaanale ñu ñaalante jàmm rek ñaanal suñu réewu Gambia ñaanal leen aji juuti yi yàlla ñu fekkee 2026 election bi ak jàmm la ñoo bëgg suñu réew yàlla defal ñu loolu ndax ñu mën a focus ci development bi because xuloo bi dafa bari. Before I came live, I think the program may be still on, but I was watching the tail end of the program Kerfatu. What a chaotic program it turned out to be between two MPs, UDP organizing secretary, Honorable Suleiman Saho, and Yaya Menden Sajang of UMC. There was quite a ping pong on that conversation. And the saddest thing, these are supposed to be lawmakers, but they were not even listening to each other. They were not even showing moderator lenyantaka interjection, okay, but it will be interjectional. This is Gambia, and this is very common. Even in a TikTok program or the diaspora, people just want to interject. People don't have patience to wait and listen to each other. Gambians, are we very, very reactionary people generally? Are we very sentimentalized people? Are we highly emotionally charged people? That's the question I want to ask myself, because I think we are, in my view. I think we are very, very emotionally charged people, Gambia. A very tiny country with a population about 3 million, less than that. But I think we are more emotionally charged than most countries in West Africa. Certainly more emotionally charged than Ghanaians. I have interacted with Ghanaians. I've interacted with other people from the sub-region. I think Gambians are very highly emotional people. I don't know why. I don't know. Sometimes I ask myself this question. I don't know whether it has to do with our food that we eat, or it's because we are so tiny a country, we see ourselves. I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me, but we are very, very emotional people. It shows in everything that we do. It shows in our politics. It shows in our social settings and whatever. We have a long way to go as a country. Sometimes I just wonder why we are like this. When I listen to programs on other countries, but I think it has to do with also the maturity levels also. And you see conversations, sometimes they can get heated, but we like shouting a lot. We don't like to listen to each other. We are highly, very defensive people, Gambians. We're very defensive, very defensive. And sometimes, even when we are wrong, we want to defend. This is what I can't put my head around. But these are some of the societal challenges that we have as a country. And probably we need more civic education on GRTS. But certainly we have a problem as a country. The country itself has a problem. Mari ngol bal konton na bake mbina kachala jang mina bankola ko kajala ko tenke bawo ndonta 2026 kono karre fay sangolom andum diamol be shiala bakele alhamdulillah rabbil alamin nga cool je junale nga cool sute junale fana nga diamoje kerfatu yaya menten sanyanko will have 3-horse race. I have said that here on this platform long time ago, a couple of months ago. I did say that we're likely to have a 3-horse race in 2026, and he said it that UDP will have their candidate. Itola coalition of the willing will have their candidate, the third force, and and that's what I said. It's not rocket science. Okay, it's not rocket science. It's going to happen. Why we are indulging all this hoo-ha and Menyo Sabala thing, the story is already written, and I think we know where the direction with Agandame. Gambia will likely have a 3-horse race 2026. Now, critically, that 3-horse race could work in the favor of anybody. UDP can benefit UDP. It can benefit Adamabaro. Yeah. It depends on where the pendulum will swing. So, but I think if anybody is thinking that we will not have a 3-horse race, you must be living in cuckoo land. Yeah. If you think that Gambia will not have a 3-horse race, you must be living in cuckoo land. Sorry, mena na video do leje TikTok. And this is the political reality that we are going to face with. But I will start with this corruption scandal involving a high-ranking police officer, Almami Manga. There are rumors ko abe resign nale, and I did call for his resignation yesterday. Ethically, another for recuse lale, but whether he would, that's the question. He should, but whether he would, that's the $1 billion question. So, bari ye Gambia je wala nanka yamaro di janko alinga maku rek ne koko kala nga maku ñu def ndanka momo ye kuriya ke o banko kan, it will haunt you no matter how long it takes. Nying Almami Manga to miro le lata kan, but bimbe stroll kan TikTok mole video do le share mba play la jam. TRRC testimony me alongo is a serious indictment on him. And again, me Honorable Halifa Sallah la diamo play la jam. Me alongo meta following platform otole. Halifa Sallah be mole jabi kang melka falukulu tentu online. Be pare ika follow ka tele bete ata modol man bete ya and was share in platform to back. Even in coalition diamo, people have taken position. Ika Halifa Sallah ni model kungu takindi nyola and portraying Honorable Sallah as the good guy. Okay. Guys, if you are making comments on Facebook, please try to, because sometimes you comments on all the muka long. Dole ko all this cook by Musa on Ibrahim Adiba. What's that? I don't understand. So if you write that, how would I understand? So what is cooked by Musa on Ibrahim? Which Musa? And again, look, this program here, I'm not talking. I don't like to discuss third party people. You know, we don't want to bring that prayer. So Allah comments all, please try to restrain from things like that on this program. Baldan right. Ka modo la kumul for ka comments all. Nimbe topical discuss right. I'm talking about corruption. I'm talking about Mr. Mangala's story. I'm gonna play testimony. Ali, I remember ya jamelo time ye dena no dole muta ya dune mile to baby Aisha. Abama letter the TRRC and no I almami manga tofu jele. And I'm going to play it here. So wobe fokang almami fala dunga scandalo dokona. And this almami manga from a gala made a statement about him. Walana banko ka nalbe nimolbe in authority. Inyante haklo tolale. Ndema foko ya tubi mena tela kede. Because me, I don't like to mukalafika mu to me kula me alongo malon to me rolo wala nanga for to me rolo. But people are now have not dug into archives ka kumoli benfala and trying to exactly do the job. I don't know who is Musa. So this person just commented Malabe Jumala ko all this cooked by what Malo Valley Molebe new maybe an indolebe new debate or comment section. But then I go what is going on? Who is this? You know, and y'all be careful, Lamonella. I told Menga Safaroke jam. Nale Ibrahim Diba Tove Safajam. Modos Amira say who said he's talking about Ibrahim Diba on his show. What are the comment section? In comment section, Sunday, I don't like a dimbal malafong. Because Nia Mala, intimandol mandre Ibrahim Diba la kuma fokanja. And all of a sudden somebody commented, Kafoko is cooked by this. So Mbal Daniela Walla does, you know, we don't want to go until Bukalafika Diamol polarize. Okay. There is great respect between myself and Ibrahim Adiba, Kabrabe UDP, and that respect is still there. Okay. For me, I said to myself, political dinimuku yandila. Yeah. All right. We are not in the same organization now. Okay. Okay. So, Mbal Finkala, Bake Olgam. Okay. So I'm ning audio lamai, Mr. Mangala ko makajala jam. Because ning coalition diamo ngamera sign be nyanta a quota la le sign demanding. Bao situation about for resolve lale. Gambia Lako is very sad. It is very, very sad. Even coalition talks itself has a division. The players that want to melmen nyanta mul samalan together will form mantara diamuka. Will form mantara nyomo. We have two groups, Apex and Team Gambia, led by Honorable Khalifa Salah. So Malo, which group is in what? Because ngamo ko UDP, for UDP be Team Gambia leba Malo. But UDP be Apex le. So all be convoluted, they're getting convoluted, they're getting all get mixed up. Imagalo membekeri. It's just like how divided we are here on Gambia TikTok space. Okay. Mbal Dani Rokela. Sometimes things can get ugly. Things can really get ugly. Manya dole kata platform o do to be ni wularo amulunjaw yata baki. Ngo Gambia bal batatal de fal buka nem bal le kanem. Ni mol kam fada rek duñe ñu diam manel fuka ñu bané. Ade mum neti ko politiko. Luko fi jar. Luko fi jar man lola hamut. Ndenna temperamental talala do bandimba. Wala nanga programme dati ko we are highly emotional people. highly charged people. I don't know why. Gambia no kataria kamfala bake fang. And hani tubab duja hani do kudlambe wala nyawa. Yes. Hani tubab duja do kudlambe wala nyawa. Dolo bi je hani be tulune se kamfa. Ndemalon nanyin kamfa nanyin jusubo nanyin fenko fang why. And we are one of the poorest countries on earth. We're one of the most underdeveloped countries on earth. But we have this arrogance. Not everybody. Yes, we do. If you go to Kenya, you go to Ghana, you visit those countries, you think that Gambia is a hamlet. Because most people haven't traveled in Africa. They only come from Gambia and Europe. And on Nibora Jaika ticket was Gambia holiday. They don't have the Imanta most of these West African countries or East African orders. Neither they go Gambia Mungisika now. But in Doleka Terelam Fongoli Yegla than this other country people. Until a definition of why. You can't understand. It's not everybody. We have a lot of Gambians who are cool-headed. But sometimes you don't understand. Because New Wolaro Kulegeda, I don't want to go over the story. I was listening to the program. In fact, the phone request like I joined you, then Basukal started a fire. And I canceled my request. Because I don't want to be part of any platform. I don't go a screen recorder. So I quickly canceled my thing. But Daniela Monella, why do we have to be so angry? Why? 2026 election or Abinala Betambila. Just like 2021. 2022, 2026, Sima Mabe Olom, Mbeduna Korole Fongo for the 2027 Fanang. It will pass. And then what will happen? Gambia will remain. Ni Momo Laftela, you are so passionate about victory. I think you should show it on the ground. Devote that anger and ila passion yeta ye carte o nyini wala be na fala bari ka sade platform auto mo de sonkala jang kuma de bindul le fala nyoy o be tela patio na fala monelo. What are you going to get out of that? Ndebe UDP ngol le yamar la bawo charity begins at home. Na si janka advocacy UDP ye nimbuga UDP ngol yamari wata kam dante na si o janna fatal because mo ni lafta mo succeed gis nga nit ki soko buga even ila partner o ini membe ale relationship soto abuge yamari woto mari man la fila idingo ika yamarle ne dingo soto e buga yamari woto man la fo dingo la anu nini mobe nyola fana buke yamari abuka fo nga nyinga abuka ke yamari mo man tambi yamarola wala na hani president wala ka advisor soto. President is the highest position in the country. Barika jaka religious advisor soto, aka political advisor soto. President Jamabi je advisors also. Ni rafra decision dol kelel advisors sole ki sindi because hadama di yabe wala nyama. Hani kila Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ay saibol soto la ni meli yalon ko kul kacha. Me yalon ko ate be koku kela. Ya maroko bana Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ya directly angel Jibril ya na afa tending ten. Anala wo kuma ya be. Bara ning saibol ka kachale. So UDP ngol fonga nyo ya mari. Anu moma nyane fanjila ya maroko no. Memori ya marla meli yalon ko kada platform alto. Let us all be good ambassadors for UDP. Even where people try to provoke us, even where people try to agitate us, let us be good ambassadors. because wo abe tolela to bete yandila abe UDP la to sene yandila abe UDP la trademark aba gena beta mafo mo kanela position defende politico fo molie fongol defend surtout ni molie fania le kam. But there is a way to handle the situation. Because na dia mo dol moyle ninde bawol jabila, it's going to be very simple. Ko UDP ndolo laftan talam fongol yenni so nga fata pati ndingol ma ñun dañ decide pour ñu dem on our own so dañu wara faté yenen pati degala way ku wax lolu da nga wara flip coin bi tamit nga ne bu ba Ousainou tam waxé ciow bi bari na fi ñom ndax ñom tamit mënu ñoo ignore ba Ousainou ñu dem sen yoon because ba Ousainou statement was heavily criticized and people went after him. Gis nga, I have said it here. Hey, pour nga understand Gambia is not complex. We have one problem. There are not many objective-minded people in that country. Suma waxe li ñu ne dama hasniti. But man suma assessment, objective when people are making nibe cool analyze can objectively ya kuoje in a very balanced way because ngafo janen to la fasar wala ka wara and it's not in one section, it's in all sections ngani fo janne because ibaja la melka UDP against it will nibe assessment ola it will ka UDP la negative damale fo and ndol fanan dol ben kono nibe assessment na it will fanan ka nyul as negative damale fo because la positive. In fact, they just want, you see, when you are an objective analyst, because like if somebody says, okay, ndol wana zafo no warano fane alfane yenta mit fatalen UDP the castigate UDP suba Ousainou waxene man duma dem primaries. Why was he castigated for that? That is objectively, because if you're speaking about one side, you should talk about the other side as well. But you cannot only talk about one side that favors you. And this is the general problem that we have as a country. May it favor and then you don't become an objective analyst. And if you want to be an objective analyst, in fact, they call you a hypocrite. They call you mom pakanyari borla. Ndax duñ dé dégal ci Gambia. They don't even understand the definition of pakanyari bor. Pakanyari bor bu muneti yetara ñing ka foko yetara ñing ka foto iko jante dan bari ka tonya fo o mo ko pakanyari bor ci because tonya bu ka tara karakilin iko la tonya fo balia tonya fo la ba ni ngabe tonya fo la ka karakilin nefo oto manke tonya fo lati because there is no perfect institution. No one is perfect here. They say who said I'm perfect. I have a lot of bots. But at the moment, Benjibe can 161 people right now on TikTok and 171 people on Facebook and YouTube. Mel Duntan and follow. At all, likewise, all of you have alpha bots totally. Na bot so like a siya nyoti. But in na nyo sabo from akakenyi silola jama. So me yamaro men dila because nte mel mantra UDP. Ngamera ninko mewul yamar la fango adango se doya. But nim mel yalon kon tolle be kafu killing antole kulumbola la be ngani killing. Ngamera tol men bebe United Democratic Party be la fita ba Ousainou le gagner 2026. Wala be ngani yoti. But ñun me yalon fane mantra UDP wol fana ngani yo mo pour mo dole gagner. We have to understand that. Ndolto control la no was human nature. NPP ngol bi ni ñi ka wol bela firim ada barole tatam. In fact ñinata ñin tatam barola ñin tatam statement famo barola hido di ko president na la Gambia meme tatam ni NPP ngol famo ye ñin aglobland wala famo ibu kala fi ka moy because they are fixated in pour baroy gagner. non tell la problem oti bari niye UMC ngol fana nyininga wala fana ba fala tol fana na winnable candidate lafta pour wali gagner niye PDI nyininga be lafla la candidate wala gagner iko momo ga wala borle tiw and that's human nature. So why are we mad at each other? Nteninga molje ka campaign politiko kono. Why the anger? Ntebuka understand. Because ntete modo la dia ntete na dia fe ntete modo force la la fi wala. Just like modo for ntete force la la fi nyen. But in lafta monela, let's be good ambassadors for our party, all of us. Because Jan, Nigo moyo ko ite kana diamu UDP to yala phone was not fair. In fact, they will see you. Who are you? Kafunyana. Momo rights of the UDP nga dingori. Yet our platform auto, you defend the UDP, you know. But I think if you represent the party well, whatever diala ba usiro dabo, whatever diala the UDP executive, whatever diala na UDP supporters will be. Even where somebody is trying to provoke you, control your temperament. Ika footballo jele footballo. Mele ala footballo kono. Player clear player do agite rek aya punch rek. Me ya punch ika red card di wol. Ni moye provoke filo kono. Ale Zidane World Cup dolo biye I modole punch about it because we kumale fa filo to. But ya tell a red card. Because I provoke le. So political for them wala nyama modol binale kene be kamfandila. But ite nite alonko ite buka ila giso maintain no. Me dan la probably you can mobe manyana kala diamulati. Some can be in the comment section. Some can be listeners. And untenga ambera dolbi je wol nyante kala lamoyr laledi. But niya fo yebe kamfalali. Because modol bin kono me anko they represent the party very well. Nita they defend the party, the position, and they talk ikadiamu in a very responsible way. And it's always comforting to listen to those people. But nita that party ota kuma foje and the UDP dun kunnimbare ko UDP ngola because of our size waratale. So modol ka kudol ka ke wati nintol nga ken tol tole katare akuyala. Iko waro fanang akam to United States today. The United States fenke dunia kono mo bele ka muy. But in Gambia kuke in fact hane Angleterre jam for modol talon because we are such a tiny country. Gambia kuke wo West Africa je funny maybe British ambassador me Gambia we are more brave. But in United Kingdom we don't. There are a lot of people in the UK here. If you ask them what's the name of the president of the Gambia, they don't know. Imadama Barotolo. Nini Angelo Bendaje ko Gambia president wala. For no, we don't know. Straight. You know France the same thing. You go Jumalo Gambia president him alone. Because our country is so tiny. We are not important in the country, in the bigger scheme of things. Globally, trade volume, we command a very infinitesimally small degree of trade. Africa has a whole form. Africa trade, it's minute in terms of world trade. Africa the contribution to the world trade is in percentages, minute percentages. Africa has a whole, much more talk of Gambia. Then other trade volume like China, Europe, United States, Canada. Wallum trade, global trade will control, will dominate. African contribution, is it up to 3% for world trade? And this may shock a lot of people because we are not significant players. So UDP ngol fana nyanda alona leko. B ni UDP ngol kuoke ibe abe noise me attract la ninyi party indole so-called small parties. Because they don't like to be called small parties, but they are. Well, fana ni wala molye mobuka yek fam because they are small compared to the United Democratic Party. So mbe yamoro menkela surtout nyin carte fay samo ndunda kono 2026. alenga careful baake nimira platform ulto ha alenga na party represent well ni monara Kaula United Democratic Party la mfarang ya counter in a very respectful way. In fact, there's sometimes if I see that munuma debate at net, I will not even engage you. Because in coalition ko manyana songala la fam because our position is clear. UDP la flag bearer, Alaji Usenu Dabo, inshallah, our name will be on the ballot box. Either through an alliance or UDP Damalebe Lole Fawe or other parties will come and endorse us. That is the situation now. That is non-negotiable. I'm sorry to the other parties, but that is non-negotiable at this point. And when Danganjim Fojan a long time ago, because it is just the natural position. And it is, the saddest thing I always hear is UDP Hanayen Rekawara lead coalition Gambia. Wayena lead one coalition in 2016, give chance to somebody else. I'm sorry, guys. You need to go back to school to study democracy and how political pluralism works. Maybe you need to help yourself. If you understand that, then you will not make such wayward comments. Because in democracy, is always the biggest stakeholder leads the coalition. Even where that's the biggest stakeholder will lead the coalition 10 times, that is always what happens in a democracy. I have never heard anywhere in the world where they said, if that is the case, let me ask you guys, sometimes I hear a lot of, I'm sorry, I don't like to use derogatory words and banter, but I do hear a lot of idiotic comments. I do. And it's very laughable. Okay, if that is the case, why should Labour Party always lead Great Britain, Labour and Conservative? Why did the other parties don't also come and say, why this country has always been led by Labour and Democrat? Well, let Lib Dems also lead the country. You see where I'm coming from? Because people are saying that UDP should not always lead the coalition. But ask yourself why UDP is leading the coalition is because of the numerical strength. Why is it Labour or Conservative? Because they are the biggest political parties in the United Kingdom. Why is it that only Republicans and Democrats have always been leading United States? Why Americans people don't come out and say, oh, it shouldn't only be about Democrats or Republicans. Let other parties also be president. Because your statement tantamount to that. Melka Foko, you want the UDP rek waron your lead coalition. You like tontu. See what me. Because there is no rule. It's just like when you say PPP led Gambia for 30 years. So why was PPP leading Gambia for 30 years? Why we didn't come out and say, oh, no, it shouldn't only be PPP. PPP, you have led Gambia for 10 years. You should go out, give chance to other people. Because there is a formula in place why PPP was winning elections. So the formula that we have, coalition is always led by the biggest political party. This idea of primaries is only in Gambia and Kaje Molka Nyo Sabanyin primaries labak. Primaries for Unkake Mbake were internal democracy. Like in UDP, being in Bamba Mas Laftaka Lo Palasoto, Fatumata na sister Fatumata Kon Sedi Laftaka Lo. So, you know, Bemu UDP ngadi ngoleti. Yale have a small Bamba or small Fatumata or whatever. They are all ibe kanyantale. So, alet ni mang abula nyoye, yeta primaries ya jibe jumal la karto besiala, wale kaki. Equity level. But today, there is no equity between UDP and these parties in terms of strength. So automatically, UDP legendaka coalition will lead. How is this rocket science? How is this hard to comprehend? And people can have platform auto, Hanayen Rekawara lead coalition. Konma Wahle Luta Barrow is leading the grand coalition this time. Why can't NRP? Why is it that NRP is not coming forward and saying, Barrow, You are lead on coalition, big grand coalition in 2021. Okay, chance din tol fonan amar baya for chance din and tol fonan NRP warang NCP ya foko ito lefana munanna dama buga ngeen tonto xam nga ñi su ñoo waxtaan ak ñen nit ni be katala link dip alini ka debate hakilola you'll win the debate because baro fonan sinano le NRP can come ya foko baro itele coalition lead in 2020 my party ya foko okay because that's the argument that they are propagating. Why should UDP alone lead a coalition? Forgetting that the formula in leading coalition at this moment favors United Democratic Party. There will come a time, however long it takes. Gambia political war used to be dominated by PPP and NCP. NCP send work to be jehna. UDP fana se me nyaonya. Parti dole fana mina tumando ufana me UDP danna. It may not be now, but new fana kera UDP cannot claim Kafoko itolebe coalition lead la. Go parti la fe ala moment of la. Imagine PPP la jamano band. Dunia ka tamatenne. Dunia ka tamatenne. Because I hear a lot of these flimsy arguments. Why should it always be UDP? Then why is it that NPP is going to lead the coalition again in 2026? Don't tell me, yeah, because Barrow is president. If your argument holds water, send argument, this never makes sense. NCP tami mo nanyo lead grand coalition ku gagné mo neka president bi. Hana president yabi is only for Barrow. Well, common sense said that even within NPP, even within the coalition, NPP is the biggest. NPP is bigger than NRP today. NPP is bigger than NCP today. So that's why, and naturally, the coalition flag bearer will always come from NPP. Even Barrow decide nemom du tahaw. Their subsequent flag bearer will come from NPP. It's not going to come from NRP or MPP. So why is the rule so different in the opposition? Ninga mol soto melialongo, they can cleverly engage people online. It is going to help us a lot. Hey, political man na wuro la, ka wuri, ka fontete sonna nyina, ntete balana nyina, ntolte nyinkela. Because niyo fo ite ka modole fon kam fandi fam. Ite ra TikTok jay ka handolte sono modo sa fanje na okay. Sa nyindele tamu na carte nya bala sen force no. O sa intadi la UDP la. Male be mena nolaji. Ibe mena nolaji. Ande ite ko ite la wulo kata TikTok wala praga ila fita carte wala nyina ba useni. Ana be carte kese kile. But ibe carte nyina ba useni nyame it's not tulu ka wuri ka kamfa ka cool beke. Ba useni nga fole how many times ako nga mulu yaya nga carte table. How many times has he said it? But is everybody even listening to him? No. Because Ninja Nata Jam, one more Daniel. But there is the messaging is always important. And in democracy, messaging, carte election messaging is very important. Ibe kumo for la nyaming. But messaging, your political messaging, na candidate back it puts people off. It puts people off. So mbeda na wolto nyi yamaro again ma repeat la ma fo moy na yamarita but ni mema la fa telefona just nam yamaro nyombo ya fay bino kono ni mel la fa telefona thank you but ni mema la fa telefona please yamaro nyinta ya fay mbalito kono amante se wuse li boda fenna so ngana do Mr. Mangala case kono mbe tal down the memory lane ni almama manga me alon ko bi atobe janjanding adunta allegedly into this scandal TRRC la ngamera amanke la deputy lead counsel tidi ngamera atelebe Khoroja Noma. Khoroja was the deputy lead counsel meme international job right now in international court ngama atelo assistant I musundin dole interview cross examine at the TRRC almame to fotaji alga lamo jebam. No, man vo.
Tutte le tue storie.
Okay.
E tu subito
No. Hold on. Nani, I can link so dole bondi me along. I don't want to play that. But before we go, alga lamo fenke fanana.
Forse gli interessa.
Alga lamo Gambia la veteran police general. Mangago Samuza.
Momo party or party that then that will be another 100 years because the Adam will live here for 100 years. Not possible no. If ever seen the Blobena, see the Abigail, see the Khalifa, the same language, if they all but let's go for party led. Let's go for party led because UDP will leave majority. We are from 2011. At least they had 17%. 2011. These other people also, none of them make 10% sort of. Okay. And that was in 2011. You can go through the records. So, they don't go for the whole Sabula. Bari, much na yaron nan alabina mol kam bendinda. UDP la administrative secretary knowing Alaji S. Dabo. Malatin the Ajubet. Another proposal, a final idea. Why not we make it 10 delegates per each region? Each party 10 delegates. Each region. Go back and look 7 regions. Party in 70 delegates in that. But half of them in wrong. Very likes as a cut. Because it's so simple. But still, it's a problem for some parties.
Okay.
To have those things, those 70 delegates, some parties cannot fulfill it. But they're not unanimous. Okay, fine, that's okay. Because at the meeting, if we don't come to term for party led, why not be back the independent? I said to Ture, who said if you cannot come to them, you back me independent. But it very much not so. We all been at a song unanimously. Also, the proposal. I like SW and Kuntu based on the okay. Okay. Then I'm going to reschedule again.
Before we go to the next meeting.
Yes.
Okay, sign. Amunda honorable. Tonya ngami mfoeja no jande ni watu na program kono ngoe bi ifana mu alpha balti Gambia political kono so yaje na watu mu 1 hour de bare tonya nsula da min fon la man fu do amunta na joni fon man fu da tema follow so nin kon ni bita bola jan 9 o'clock so saying what we are appealing now is na visual because on the Facebook signal or on kabin jeje wolonko more ban follow kana diba interested saying we'll join this program next week. We have to have a
okay. Dalilo me ananganyim play janingada mangala koro. Menko bro pick me up. Mr. Njai, I haven't man colors all to follow. So I always do my analysis. Unless if you have something very important to say, then tina say that because nimbe analysis langa line only yelere, then the analysis kelano kotenke. So if you can be patient with me, then I will line or na analysis the mail be back. Then I will open the lines. But tell me why you want to be picked. If you tell me why, what do you have to say? Because there are other people also merely request okay. But why you please can you tell me why you want me to pick you up? I mean, Nenko, bro, please pick me up. So if you let me know, then I will pick you up. But Honorable Majango Samos is a veteran politician. Ako UDP le party led. This is common sense. He's not part of UDP. He's NCP. But I never know before prior to the 2016 coalition talks. Ako UDP the UDP le coalition party leader. How is this a problem? Sometimes I don't understand why this is so hard for people to see. He said it. He's not part of UDP. Ako Sabaji. Then Honorable Alaji Dabo not a compromise. Let's have 10 delegates from it. That put the icing, that cool down the temperature in the room. But I have fully found even there, particularly they struggle to get delegates from all over the country because they are small. And that happened. Now they are coming up with allegations Because I'm hearing is not to my knowledge. What are you hearing which is not okay? I will take you, Lamin, so you can comment on this. Because okay. Hold on, Lamin.
UK US military base on the Bahamas Islands, Diego Garcia.
Mr. Zedele. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, Lamin. You call from my follow.
Come for it, number of whatever care and
No. You told me in the comment section, bring engineering guy, Nkobana ne lafta ngeta. Iko nyele ko yamune form for you because I'm not what I'm hearing is not my knowledge is UDP. What is that?
Yeah, because he come for it. No, message on you won't go and be texting like maybe the way I'm writing it makes differences. So I'm read like that.
Okay, so say muna na ilafta kasele say.
Nabura UDP la ma beti that untilafta kola for the purungo bambandina.
Okay.
Yes, ntebo wolto nak UDP la ma beti nak kusa be kumembe katatek. Nabura, we have to understand each other.
Okay.
Yalo systemol be jere tonya len wato dolla ko se kenole inse balan no nyoe kube kutola. But ni mari ponchita ini sonno mo. Yes, after phone call on ne. Sedili ntebe suyan janne de. But se ko billa wala line ka kodol je nabura ni it touches my heart.
Like what?
Too much.
Like what?
Because remember caring.
Like what? Can you be very blunt? Can you be very blunt? Remember caring.
Yeah, remember caring. Until la Carola, until kola foi na. Until la Carola, remember care. Wala mo intiko. Talib nyolu. Ibrahim adiba nyolu. Until bota bota busal kenyala de. Okay,
can you please wait until I open the lines? Okay, Mr.
Okay.
Because now you want to because unko my lines all you follow. I love to analyze, but you insisting that I should give you the floor. I thought you're going to come out and say something. Ni menala ibena wala issue for like ninga lines all yele you can come after me for what, but I don't want to be changing my program.
Yes, no, but ni mal line all ablage o nyama rek. Barna bro dante ka ji janne nte be suiran jadde bro. Nte bro Ibrahim den abota sal kelante bota sal kelade de lamin jala ba fula de. Lamin jay masanen jay. But
my brother, okay, please, I would encourage you to go to another platform. Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. I want to continue with my program, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, guys. But we'll continue on the program. Look, I don't want to be here talking about Ibrahim Adiba this, Ibrahim Adiba that. I don't do my programs for that. So I'm not going to stop anybody from talking about them. But for me, I have more important issues to talk about. Okay. Ibrahim is gone. All right. He's not part of UDP. To me, what I want to more focus on, we talk and try to help UDP leader to win. For me, that is what is important. Okay. We have talked about this issue for the past 3 months, 4 months. Are we going to talk about it until December 5th? All right. Never more stop Yavo, and I cannot control anybody to talk about it. But my program here, I will focus on national issues. Okay. Things that are important. All right. If anybody wants to get angry with me for that, I'm not going to lose my sleep. Definitely. I wouldn't lose my sleep. All right. This to talk about individuals and whatever, unless it is a national dimension. Everybody got your personal TikTok accounts. You can go on your TikTok account and make it a topic or a video record, your audio record. But look, I don't want to degenerate Bantabala programs to that. All right? Because if you come here and you talk about him, he is going to go to his platform and talk about you. Because you're mobile daso. And everybody have access to social media. And you get distracted as a political party. This is my view. Because if I talk about somebody else can go and talk about Sheikh Sedili. Can I stop that person from talking about me? Because you're mobile social media soto. Mobile WhatsApp soto. Mobile platform also. You understand? If there is a national issue, then they can. Apple, you see, this Apple, you said they always talk about UDP. Okay? You can go and talk about them. I'm not saying them more stuff to talk about them. Sometimes I don't understand. I said I'm not going to change my program to that. How is that understandable? You can go, Apple, you have a TikTok, you can go and open your life and talk about them. Nobody will stop you, Apple. Alinga nyo bunya nyo respect. Okay? Okay? So after Ninela, I am on YouTube. Karamo konta afele mena program te mediam kam so mediam kam majang ko samusa la nyin topic all and majang ko samusa même for tonyalom ni aji be nyolom veteran politician odi UDP la nyanta ka coalition lead naturally so manyana nyo sabala. But let me go back to Mr. Mangala case. Mr. Mangala case ya interview no TRRC okay. Ngamera nga video soto jane let be played. No, niente.
Nkai kan samba minto aimbane. Yendundu motoko nantada form kita headquarters ngindije. You mentioned one Almamo Manga.
Yeah, Almamo Manga menna kumufuteng. Yes.
Can you tell us what kind of police he was?
Afanya mu police person nemu.
Atabe headquarters la ka don ka koy mal do an ko tubulurma. Kayalo mbiri intel fundita wo wulta la wodunta. And
you told us that the judge did not even know that you were being taken to the police station.
No, he wasn't aware.
And you said it was one police officer, Manga, that told you to go on board the vehicle.
Yes.
And you said he insulted your mother before asking you to go on board the vehicle.
Ko ay banen janning ibabula la motokon.
Antala nga nginin ka ayo kan samba mintole.
Yes. I asked him, where are you taking us to? And he insulted my mother.
How did you feel about him insulting your mother?
Saying o atefe nyadile atelo ke bane wonya.
Mankuno je?
I couldn't do anything about it.
At the point when he asked you to go on board the vehicle, were you with your baby then?
Yes, she was in my arms.
Where did they take you? Who is this individual that locked you up in the cell?
He was the very one that closed the door.
And who is this person?
Manga.
Almamo Manga. It's very tight, and there's a door.
Mesiri ngele mbegele dino bebe aisa bakumbola mo batambika aya kumboka omwe akoje dena no wala ka kumboja ay police muso mutala lori nja ka dena no ka kumboja jumale ni dena no dunija aka Almamo Manga bala office sai wata ta noma o ka ko ni dingola munyenti ya munke ta kala ni mun ka kumbo selo kono dalila jugala ke na yake ji ni mudena no le nka ay kan samba min tole ay mbane. You mentioned
one Almamo Manga.
Okay, Marivolo, dalilati na nga nyin samana njam. Purukang hakilo bulandi ko Mr. Manga right now adunta scandal or like an alleged scandal. But this is all because we don't have security sector reform. Molme yalonko yanyin 2 miro lekam. Ñu muso dara testify la de TRRC. Ko allegedly ako nyin same Manga wole nyin kala for kisirol keta whatever. So be barola man sekunda uleta ye palas ba diala for ya samba anti-corruption commission. And this is why in Kaho Baro ko ka security sector reform ke. Imagine alianya kasi wala or maybe ba fala nyinna nyin testimony to nyati je ay tumiro ka afele mo dona ta fanam ye tumiro la kam. Security sector reform is important. Ngana security sector ngaje farafara ngaje senayandi. So saying brim Mr. Manga fela dunta nyis kanolo kono mol tata yenyu video bonde ko tenke ba janne kan TikTok kamula club lande ko nyim mome ba tumi kan musudole fana dara TRC ay tumi roka. So how can all this be lies? Mr. Manga he came out and he said no, this is not true. But now this is another allegation against him. Ko nyimuso ko allegedly dena no nyina dingubla ko doya nyini ka kay ko fonko yamara ni nyimu dingoti be nyinkela dena no mo se dena no dundi selo kon. These are allegations, but they are grave, damning serious allegations. So ndola banko betenne wala na be I decided to bring out this audio, bring out the TikTok audio nko share jam. So Almami has a lot of questions to answer, and I think in his best interest he should step down and allow clear investigations devoid of any interference. If he Niatara that investigation clears him, he can even be appointed as IGP because he's a Gambian. But this is what should happen. And Gambia Police Force, up to my knowledge, a man's statement can you call a follow. There's no statement about it. A man from a bedairy. But if it's no dairy, they would have to come out and speak. The Gambian security sector needs serious transformation. But the security sector reform for Nantekelano, as long as Adama Barrow is president of Gambia. That is the correlation. There's a direct correlation between the two. Barrow is not interested in security sector reform. All what Adama Barrow is interested in is Atedme President Yala, economic soldier all the way to Gambia, Senegal soldier all the way to Gambia, Kantala. Hanate Betulajile for the next 20 years. Barrow doesn't care. Fall on to la Cairo to Gambia. Fontol Betula Tenne, security officers of other countries will live in Ikantola Banko Kanta. Kolana Nying is all related to election 2026. Ni lafta Gambia bo nyimbata kono. Na security nga transform. Banko ya fonsoto. Adama Barrow fonyu wache ko si boss bi. Wala di namba fola liye ko. Memodol disappoint lale. And I'm not going to be apologetic about that. But I am going to use airtime on Bantaba to be focusing on Adama Barrow. Because Adama Barrow will be marali na bankola B. The Gambia for Nyame Nyim Banko is very retrogressive. And the Nyinkante irate nile. What sense does it make? You want to talk about other opposition, even if you think that they betrayed you. How is that going to help you to win presidency? You don't want to focus on the president, but you think that those people who betray you, today they cannot steal election in that country. They have no control over IEC. You're telling me that UMC have control over IEC? They don't have capacity. The person who will have control over IEC, the person who rigged our elections in 2021, Adama Barrow na election will rig. Bi jumale be marale safe-holding alkalola. Jumale ka kaitol di ni ID card men jumale wa di Adama Barrow. So I want to give my chunk of my time. I'm not going to talk about these people because to me they cannot stop UDP from winning elections. The only person me along con dollar stumbling block community mention tolla election hejamal no ay banko fay tolla futo kono wala Adama Baroti because atela incumbency power soto so ndena na banta baje ntebe wala kachala nimme ya fi ko lafta modo kachala go and open your own life yela platform yele you can spend 10 hours and start talking about them ndese who said I cannot stop that asembeten Gambia, we are so great. We have a country, a president, he squandered 100 billion of our funds. We like to involve in trivialities. This is why this country is backward, and the Nimman Natalam Bululfali will be in this kind of quagmire for a long time. Until right now, Ndola Ba. Foreigners are control. They are not even Africans. They are not even black Africans. I can say that. Ndola sand mining na stand black sand mining. Troko leka kolekika samba China. Ndola natural resource. Man, lol moma ite. This phrase, the eye on the prize. But when we take off the eye from the prize and we want to focus the eye on the sideways, you cannot drive your car and reach your destination. If you are a driver and you are always looking at the sideways, how are you going to reach your destination? You either will have, may God forbid, you or maybe police will stop you are not even a qualified driver. So ndolla banko be ñu stage lero man security sector reforms ro nga molle soto je melan some of them should not even be in the system ñi scandalo be fake mo jelle ka fo bi mo jomal even nim mo na colleague dole be diam kan on phone before ngana bantaba ako almami manga fo la ñi fo platform mo jelle ba fo kan ja do they even talk about this? No, they don't have time. But neither on the UDP official benny scandal or then they will make it a topic. But this is a big scandal. Because we are a country with small minds. We like to focus on trivialities. That's why our country is retrogressive. The country is normally a reflection of its people. The leadership is a reflection of its people. Gambian in Bangolo may independence or Nyola, countries like Mauritius. Go to Mauritius. I've been there. And see how progressive they are. And World Bank for independence are very close. Go to countries like Taiwan. Go to Taipei City. In the 1970s, Gambian in Taipei development of baby the same in Taiwan. But look at Taiwan right now. At some point, they were number 2, number 3 in terms of economic reserves. The whole world, a small country like Taiwan. Non-national reserve. Where are we? We haven't even started development because we spend good chunk of our times defending. You go online and see whether you will see Taiwanese citizens online defending. Yes, Mali, I've been in Taiwan. I live there, Malu. You said you are in Taiwan. Taiwan is a very progressive country. But Gambia and Taiwan were at the same level in terms of development. So we need to really put our act together as a country. We have a president, Mealango Munut. He cannot rule out. He cannot take us to the promised land. But Dolba support country, he has enabled us. Drivers. They are the drivers who want to keep him in that office because Wolfon and they are getting benefit from his presidency. We have people in the diaspora, they support Barrow because they are getting something from Barrow. Some of them are doing it for tribalism. Don't be the coming there benefiting tribalism. This nonsensical tribalism. That's the game that they're playing. Because in Gambia, this tribalism have affected us so badly. Sometimes I ask myself, why Senegal? We have the same tribes in Gambia and Senegal. How come tribalism is not affecting Senegal? All right? But in Tolu, we are so tribalistic. We are so tribalistic. We want to focus on law ebb discussions. The next video, Mina Memprela, Wal Khalifa Salah speaking. Honorable Khalifa Salah. And I like what he said there. All right? Mina Honorable Khalifa Salah la video le play la lejam. Aliana la moya be memfola. Okay, my brother, ngela comment jele. Iko, I am not real. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm not real. Itala real ta. Itala mo kendoti. Itala me better. Nte bulang nte mo kurungoti ngana kuriyata. Kairo isabati. Okay? We shouldn't have any hoo-ha about that. But either you are good, you are a decent person, you are real, I'm fake, then I think you should not even watch me on my platform. Daniela, civilizedly, I don't even need to block you. If you are really a genuine person, you should not listen to a fake person. Because you'll become foolish by listening to a fake person. I will not block you, but today block like that. But in Gafo Dronko, look, I told more me and I told the reality, I told more kendolti. Alama al dema, al reality, al banko in a fasotoji. All right? So then it argument kilaja. I'm not going to engage you. All right. So let me go to Honorable Khalifa Salah Diamo. We carry on the platform. Lalame Honorable Khalifa Salah. We don't
want to be used by NPP to go against UDP. You, the supporters of Doi, don't allow yourself to be absorbed by anybody's agenda. Follow the Doi agenda. Here and there will say, Khalifa Salah is this, he's the good guy, he's this. All this is window dressing. I don't want such praises that pit me against other people. What I want is to be seen for what I stand for and who I am. We don't want to be used by NPP to go against UDP. You, the supporters of Doi, don't allow yourself to be absorbed by anybody's agenda. Follow the Doi agenda. Here and there will say, Khalifa Salah is this, he's the good guy, he's this. All this is window dressing.
Thank you, Honorable Salah.
I don't want such praises.
Thank you, Honorable Khalifa Salah.
Pit me against other people.
Thank you, Honorable Khalifa Salah.
What I want is to be seen for what I stand for and who I am. We don't want to be used by NPP to go against UDP. You, the supporters of Doi, don't allow yourself to be absorbed by anybody's agenda. Follow the Doi agenda. Here and there will say, Khalifa Salah is this, he's the good guy, he's this. All this is window dressing. I don't want such praises that pit me against other people.
And you know what? The reason I brought this here, because Nina Bantabajang after we try Nanyo Karandi. Khalifa, I come out for the Kumata back, and I want people to listen to it carefully. This is all window dressing. I've said this here. Even this coalition, they are pitting Honorable Khalifa Salah against Apex. Khalifa Salah is the veteran. Khalifa is this. Khalifa ben Musival. First of all, Honorable Khalifa Salah di tonto. Khalifa is the good guy. The other people are bad. This, don't allow it. Is all window dressing. You know why he's saying window dressing? Do you guys know the answer? Why Khalifa said this is all window dressing? Because if it comes to the votes, they don't vote for Khalifa Salah, but they will go to platforms and say, oh, Khalifa man, Khalifa la respect, Khalifa is this. But you will not see any of them going down in Gambia to campaign for Honorable Khalifa Salah. It's a ticket or control, induction ticket. So go nit. Come ñun, suma maasi. Dañ demoon 2021. We doxing ticket, he them Gambia campaign UDP because we believe in UDP philosophy. We went down the trenches, campaign your party. But you sit on platform here, and Halifa is the good guy. The others are not good. You hear it, even this coalition talk. They are trying to portray Apex as bad guys. They don't trust Apex. Bu Halifa bilang trust, and Halifa mulana tontunak. He's not going to fall for this window dressing. If anybody is smart, you will realize that this is window dressing. So ñu ne ben la politiko kono Gambianolu ike sikandile yeselendi som bado nga fo nyama manke Gambianolu be ike sina yeselendi ye dundi fo ye blow dundi sewo kono ye blow dundi sewo kono then they will abandon you idama yo ya fa des wala na ñim politiko ni membe de haklo to de United Democratic Party atele wartan tol beti no one is bigger than UDP ni momo ya mere ko daraja tale da nga am tour da nga popular ala juju da bonale ya fole aka hanate fongo na UDP black hani sisekeli da jol fi salati and it's true. And this is what Honorable Halifa Sallah is saying here. And I like this Honorable Halifa Sallah quote, don't let NPP use you against UDP. And this is what Halifa wala nantete alawla moyena jang wala na wolu modole laftana la jang ka Honorable Halifa Sallah doya mansong ndela fila moyena jang fane ka another opposition party doya jang atekala bantaba jang ma fa atekala platform dol to de bari jang ndeta kala jang not on my show. Ni wolo moben kumandela ko I'm fake. I will wear that fake with badge of honor. Or fake now for mba dundila with a badge of honor and walk freely in Gambia. Because I don't need anybody's validation. I don't need your validation to see that I'm a good guy. I need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's validation. And we are so bothered about this right now. Pour mo le hey, sa way mom do you need ku bax la? They said, Mom, yaram la, I'm a problem. Why are you so worried about that? No. Ni momo e Kamala United Democratic Party la. Nying menka fo kon menka fo Shehu Sedili fake tale. Malafika fake la. When they were accusing Ba Usenu here ko atele Jamela asset solta. Ndenga Ba Usenu defend nyamen atemaki. I used to have sleepless nights in this TikTok during the assets. I'll remember it. I used to go around platform. Kabaushenu different because you funny ale lakang. Kafoko abe ani Honorable Amadou Sane. Fong Honorable Amadou Sane call Gambia. Debe deurin. During what will list of funtita. Honorable Amadou Sane nga call nkai ko. Janim bita diam la nyinkuala lafte commission of fonye. Aye asho akonye seho. Ba useno mani assetso ama bluma mala si mamalante Amadou Sane bluma la konye ko go and say it on the platform ndeleng authority dila wotumo lenga correction data bantaba bari bi molmen dolke sisol konkon biribe ba useno attack la jani asset skola suto ba ñin opposition party ba assets la where were they? So this is the problem that we have. Okay? So Honorable Halifa Sallah is very, very important. This is advice that we have to give to people. Ko alinga bula because more ndede Cairo nimma sotono alinga jam fanyol. But Halifa la nyindiamo ay kilo bulandi 2-3 days ago me platform do la may kan jam. Ibe Halifa Sallah ñu ngi ekati Halifa di wacce ñeneen ñi Halifa Sallah nañ leen ko déglu again ala nga la moy sorry TikTok lo ñenti apologies na trale video dol moy wo Nigerian o menka comedy ke wala video for data na so bari na stop le ala nga la moy
kai kan samba min to
no man ra ñina am
so watu wadi yeñi RV
No, mantra nina. I want to listen to a TikTok program, but namera nga afenketale abotale kotenki. I don't know why this link is not playing up again. I'm not play la. Yeah, sign for the platform. Go already. I look at this. Bantaba le funded on TikTok. Okay, so but if I cannot open it again because I don't know there's an issue with this. I can't use wala audio le funded na mo play but Halifa Salala diamo. Halifa wax na wax bu set.
You mentioned one.
Halifa wax na wax bu set. I think this is what we should all be practicing. The other information, Sane Balamanana, maybe at the about this supplementary registration. Abina start lale April. Malam for Sislabita registration. Sislabita registration. But Sisla Buga Hajitala. The problem is Sisla Buga Hajitala Gambia. Sisla Kana Senegal. So Mala register la noji. Sisla Pana Mutape tolti. Sisla Buga Sanoga. Sisla Buga Hajitala Gambia. Take a Senegal. So abenyu noise mem de ke kanjanka Adama Baro attack Fatu Baro attack. Sisla Kana Senegal I don't need body bull, I don't need cover silola back door. So mala deve register la rojari. Adeve mol fondi la carte kesa kilin nale. Sare balama ala fo sisla wakila ita ay samfu jusula ita Gambia register je. But nimma mantano fanan because more la holiday hani financially you can do it. More they have restriction in la holiday sometimes even to have holiday in April from work and December. Sometimes some companies are very strict about that. So, but more important, hani mol manangara campaign yola mbenga sisla kabita April. Okay, that's good. So registration will be start lale, and a lot of diasporans are interested. And the good thing is this time UDP diaspora will be pulling agents. Okay, pulling agents will be kalale. So this time we are ready. But ning sane balaman naraja maybe aning they can share information about this registration. I think they have something that they want to share with us. Being a Karanji on the registration side. I think we're gonna important, right? So I will open the lines for people to have their say. Bimbe lines on yella journal because it's a call us all for an change to the journal. So moderator ning after more cylinder is a more cylinder sign. So I don't know whether you want to talk about this election thing now before other people will come at the end of the day. So yeah. So we will reach the promised land. And you know d'accord si support ben nit ku nekk ko bëgg support nga support ko loolu mooy démocratie waaye warata nekk si ngiri ngaro hecco be saga di hecc foofu loolu is very ugly. Politics dafa yomba ko bëgg yombal sa boppa because nit ki you yaa moom sa buga bi koko bëgg jox ko nga ko jox. Okay, and ñun yëpp mënuñoo d'accord di support benn candidate. But if we are preaching for decorum, let's preach decorum on both sides. We shouldn't just be looking at one side and say, oh, definitely, or whatever. So let's have a 3-horse race. And to me, I think that is going to finish this whole topic. 3-horse race. The third force, new Taholsen candidate, the UDP and new candidate, and new them at Barrow. And the Gambians really want to defeat Barrow, even with 3-horse race in the Barrow Bondinoli. If we are sincere, in the Barrow Bondinoli, with 3-horse race, the Barrow Bondinoli. All right? It's doable. It's not a must that we should have one umbrella coalition because it looks like we cannot agree to have one coalition. That is what I don't think we will agree. From what I'm hearing, it's not going to happen. I could be wrong, but I don't think we'll have one coalition. But even within the same group, the third force, they're going to have a big problem who is going to lead their coalition. Yes, it's not going to be honky-dory because all of them want to lead. All right. And what UDP is saying, the same problem that UP is going to have, because Mama Kande will claim to be the biggest opposition party within your ranks. And who can challenge that? Because GDC is the biggest. According to Gambia's electoral result, you exclude UDP out, GDC is the next biggest. And will Mama Kande say, okay, now you guys can lead me? This is going to be complex. It's going to be intricate. It's not going to be all honky-dory for you guys. Take UDP out of the equation. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be the same complexity. The complexities of having a coalition with UDP, that complexity will still be there. You need to navigate yourselves around that. How are you going to navigate yourself around that? That's where the $1 million question comes in. But for me, that is not a preoccupation for some of us UDP. So human life is always going to become the challenge of selecting a flag bearer will always be there, whether UDP is there or not. Minus UDP out of the situation, you will have this problem. Because even within your ranks, there will be somebody who will say, Mama Kande naturally should be the leader. Because he came third in 2021. He's got elected officials. Okay. PDIS will also say we are the longest serving political party here. We've got MPs. We've been here. We've always been coming forth after Mama Kande. So how can Sobeya lead us, for example? Okay, assuming Sobeya is not going through, probably, I'm just giving an example, okay? And then they will say, how can UMC lead us, for example? All right, so this challenge is always be there. So I don't know, it's not this challenge you think is going to be is there only because UDP is there. Even UDP out, you guys have this complexity. We don't need to fight. Okay? Sometimes Satan more has in daje. So new direct and we look at how this thing is gonna pan out. Because human nature issues. Okay, right now everybody is easy. UDP is the punching bag. UDP is the punching bag because they said it's easy to punch UDP. Oh, no problem. But minus UDP, the same problem will exist. And you can record this and keep it. You guys are going to head for the rocks when you come in terms of selecting your own leader. The complexity will be there. Because number one, you want to do primaries. You don't want to do party-led. And Mama Kane may see himself and said, you know what? Minus Alaji Hussein Dabo, I'm the most popular politician here right now. So I think I should lead this group. And that challenge will be there. But anyway, good luck to you guys. And may you overcome that hurdle. And you select this so that we can be ready for this 3-horse race. And the 3-horse race is going to be very interesting. Because Gambians can still decide among the 3 who will be the next president, and it does. And 3-horse race can work out nicely for Gambians, okay. But there has to be sincerity, and I hope the coalition of the willing, if they, I'm just giving them that name, the third force. Let me say the third force. The third force, near candidate or select. I think they will genuinely. Well, eco registration will be start like April up to May. College Jimara Lami, it may begin in Carola. Okay, ala baraka baka sa mbadunga kola solta. I think namera num for na moderator bijam, but mamera be mol selendi la mbadunga mol selendi bel lafta diamula. Sane bala may diamu nying registration wala domanding anin ndey fon be diamula la.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Farmara Sedi Khan is here.
I think when the selection on platform will come back.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, so Pulka Mol Kalamutandi Mimbe Kekang in April about Nalonko supplementary registration or been a start kan. Money supplementary registrations wala ning mini alonko ila among some last time, like 2020.
Jumale Lamin Selendi. Sort of Sane Balamamla. Lamin, which Lamin is this?
Lamin Endabo.
No, there is another Lamin here. Because I thought it's the same guy. Okay, Lamin Dabolo saying I'm gonna you're the same guy. Listen. Sorry, thank you. Sorry, Sane Balama. Go ahead.
Yeah, so coming 2021 Nadimbaya Almini Alonko Wili Sanjitani Nani Soto Sanjitani Lulu Sanjitani War Sanjitani War will baby Julia in this supplementary election auto Purka Karto fight. So Bafala all the family members anybody maybe young a mod Soto calling for a tight registration all.
Yeah.
Mini Alonko Fana voters start will filter no yeta renew. This is the right time to do that. Minima soto at all yetayake. Now, ning election okono as per nga report min soto because that I see la website le manyi ko it'll be a data transfer min kela. So in terms of more register kutake or from our function do quality. But ye mean add J ko ibe data transfer include la J, it is definitely commendable because Ntemajela Dulato at all, from their website since 2006. So we must commend them for introducing that because it's one of the degree 1996 subsection part 3 of section 35. That near Mulu Sawunta. So that's a little bit in Banjunule, Tabakuro or Afdai, Elaftakaraste Canifin, in that data be transfer Nyadile. Now there are requirements near Lonko Inyantaka follow. Well, and you to go Ibela ID card or Sambalale, don't be the Kanatalo, but now Namela system or it allows you to take the photos themselves.
Yeah.
But in this message, in the group or in the media page, they talk about durability of 6 months. For 6 months or 9 months before election. But in degree in the constitution, it will govern. It doesn't have that. Between 4 IEC level as a supplementary regulation, malo. So, but that's not something that I was able to fine. Now, but Ntebe be explained that Niaji left the Puruna Gambian Kolo as well as the UDP Kolo because of the data transfer. Yeah. Woto ayente hatibake. Wale nintiko natara itate kobe la data falina. Ya make sure ko ya long ila system konoko this is already transferred. Balandi minna duplication of effort ikomi ebe banyunu itobe serekunda. Wala itara serekunda o kanifing itobe banyunu. Election lungo itoleta ila polling station auto yatara itobe banyunu amam fali. Yeah. And secondly, fana is a hakiloto plaso lunibe fola ya for clearly. So niko berending mundolem berendinti. Combo berending, serakunda berending, and you make sure you highlight it because there are similarities in places. Namwe be found over explain nanyana kunga salike josoto sereku malon for kombolembang kombo selekono.
Salike be yeah tonalom.
Yeah, so they're different names, so we should be cautious about that.
But it's like coming Yomi Laming and in Combo Laming.
Combo Laming, yeah. So you need to be very cautious in that. Make sure ko nimbe details or dealer I clear near print fanana voters katolunga jibe ye section jumale dinna. Fulanjang fananto nimu UDP and told me anybody me along ko do ma for data transfer ke ye to falling. Please get in touch with your constituency chairman, constituency ward. The reason is data register better low level. So will say verify for 100% you have been amended. Is a data better la tundo minto is all marry inform. Because a better telephone will finance along konin ilayin carte or yin voting or electronic sai amantara jang abin ma fandol. Abe munekela abe doko soni andila UDP bulle adun fanan in terms of vetting and checking. So I understand because this one is actually fulfilled. So I bet you at a point will be haklo to auto. I don't find in future finance haklo to because I see yalan told bukalela. So what we have to be carefully be now manipulation of Vinkila, Lugo Lomoli, see, and I left a cut off file, a taste told Sambakian, I do it at Bono La Serra Kundakatakian at that period in time. Ngana for Chankola, but Tony Baloto. Oh, sorry, voting at that day. So to avoid and to counter that, Nyantaka make sure na ninga registration transfer ke let's make sure we get the right info. Ni tara karang fa na manjamfa isi la voters card or whoever ya yinin karaoke. Every registration be members also to la be UDP and also to la abe doi so to la hopefully and other partners. So whether be kela APV Sobealty or other partners, they'll be on the ground. UDP and dolbe hopefully. So if that's the case, they can get in touch just to read what they have on their voters card before departure. So left the war pro mo jamasu wo kalamuta because this is essential. We need to establish na mul betara tundol minuto whether they are the very people and whether they're going to be voting in that particular polling stations. Yeah. Okay,
Abaraka Bage, I think they would like to add something. But before Melbet Gift All Day can thank you. Kabbalah, thank you, Kabbalah, and anybody else who need to tell sign, but anybody else giving the gifts on the platform. Allah Baraka Bage, thank you. You want to add something to Sane Balawan?
Yeah, certainly Sane Balawan coming for them. I just want to add a little bit, but I will take a different direction because already at any donor Martin is I cover our area they cover. Comment from memela follow to Siala. The members will fan and battery can Pruka data collection on him fanang. If an Alcina Haju is Abula Yakewoti. Because we would like to tally all this data. But come internal quality by the Conini Mobekelola, Ubukela Joral be it and Dala Bantasa, Lodo Munekaka. You but it left a Pruka area Memfana at Sunkarolekana, Sunkarola Watoni Manjam Fabake, and Numfanangalo no Comulo do you can need holiday lale. Your new supplementary registration or Abebola April Lecono, Kata. So the mobile Danica UDP dingo already. Try can the information of intended to all the WhatsApp group also in all the chapters will find a name message will fit in the chapter group also. UDP la dingol member to about the whole Seattle la dingol member Gambia in Kum. La dingol member diaspora was Seattle. Your ning day I can hajoti. Kartome along Koikafo Ben Sunya la latent Sunya no lal. So the mobile Daniel and the information of Bakela Santa Junk. You could junju doy na boromi hell. Ngalon na molu nyantalon na left kamuna fo nyantalon na muna muna misonoti nyantalon na left munela. Bari momondi ila chapter group ko do kare watch out. Watch out ko information ol bedun na le purali along andung ngali dani ali nyinke ko alla life la dipentaka. Ali nyinke ko alla life la dipentaka hanni membe sick mfenko le tala sick holiday le tala. Hanni bitalo kun kilinela. A jaratala le purkana banko bondi wala munna dani woti and donc at some point nta follow ko party leader be fintila nanne but we are working on that at some point asikero if all be party leader fanam fa ko moy law ko kan ka sembo na la kan do mandi lajim party members sul kam pourka wodo nyin selende santo du kan be mobe dani hanni lokum kilinna nsina banko bondi nole siata diaspora yembali diaspora vote lale bari hani sai there are a way around it in bakela nyame ko nga fo nyame diamo be kole ala nanta be fo no la jan nini mol be kelo la new platform is widely watched and we know it is watched by the government as well me bo wo kala bale ngalon ko government official be ke la mo ni platform wala so wala na sometimes ka kole ala purun ka message ni lafta mem bondila bari du kare let people watch out in their WhatsApp groups and we are trying mobe yake ilo do koti mo kana to come.
But they and Sane Balamang, there's somebody who sent in a question from Gambia and I think somebody also made a comment. How do we mitigate against this double voting scenario system? Somebody can vote in Serekunda and then go and vote somewhere else. Duplicate voting system.
Remember, if you vote, you dig your finger inside.
But some people say that it goes away. It does go away. Is it?
Not necessarily. I think
the indelible ink. That's what you're talking about. Okay.
It doesn't come. It shouldn't.
Okay.
The real ones don't, at least for 2-3 days.
Okay.
Because the expectation is, how do we know that you actually voted and you didn't vote twice? But as I said, this electoral register has been so much of questions.
Somebody said it's erasable. Well, somebody just commented, but somebody also said it takes time to disappear. So somebody's just corroborating your point. But
again, nitata rangola birkama and sorry, tata niku at 2 places. That means you registered in Bakau and then went and registered again in Carnifing. And that shouldn't be the case. Again, what I'm saying, because of the systems we have in place, because if you put your name and your date of birth, you cannot have two names in 2 places if it is digital. But again, I don't know how IEC they operate. Most of their work, they're not even machine readable. Manuality. So it's likely to happen. But maybe you cannot be an individual and then you're at 2 places at the same time on election day. So you cannot vote in Bakau at the same time, go and vote in Serekunda. That's strange. That's dishonesty, but you should only vote one. You only have 1 ballot. Okay. But in circumstances like this, I was telling to our colleagues that vetting in the electoral register, you shouldn't have different people in different places or same people in. But again, it's going to be very hard for us to identify that because the electronic main server is with IEC. They should be able to identify whether there is a duplication of names, and then they should delete that because that is a requirement and is actually statutory on them to ensure ko wamanta omanya natarle la system will ni e momin register sara kunda ya to bondi abedamin to originally well nyanta kala ni registration of ananke ya je ko toll digitally in records and in any systems it gives you duplicated records. If you have them, you match them and delete the other one. That's what you do. But in Malon, how they operate, because I don't work with IEC.
Okay.
There is a flip side into Sanibala Mankamen's footing, flip side of the coin. And the flip side of the coin, we need to be very clear about it as the get-go, which can go against the opposition. The flip side of the coin, they can still leave this information. It could also be, this is the government strategy to use this information. Because remember, when you have the data, you can manipulate the data. If you have Nde Iditure in Jara, you have Nde Iditure in Kombo, many be Jara and Mendo Kombo, if they cannot tally on the day of the election, that information wouldn't come out. And because it is the government here that have information, and remember, we never trust IEC, and we should never trust IEC to begin with. The fact that they don't do delete information, they leave information, and then they can still give this information to the government. And the government can duplicate this information in terms of their favor and give voters card to these numbers into the areas where their original addresses, because remember, they are transferring the information from the original address to the newer address now. So IEC can play this to the favor of the government, and the government can be using this, because I don't think we have this transfer of information the last election. What is the reason behind it now? Why are they giving the option to the people? It is good to give the option, but if you are going to delete the information so that there is no duplication. So I think the political parties, so that we are not late to react, because we normally are late to react on issues and ask questions. So I think it will be very good for our party and other political parties to be vigilant about this transfer of information and make sure they follow it up and understand that tallying is done in the proper way.
Yeah, and in fact, to add to that as well, Siho, Part 35, subsection 4, it says the commission shall cause the list of voters and list of deletion to be published for at least 10 days in the administrative area in which the constituency is situated. So what that means is it is in fact mandatory and compulsory on IEC to ensure you to delete. I tell a publishing improve.
Yeah, wala transparent.
Yes, that's what the law says.
That is mandatory, isn't it? It's a mandatory
Exactly.
requirement.
It's mandatory on them because it's a statutory requirement. So they should publish.
The thing is, I know there are other people waiting, but Madam Sane, before yes, it's a mandatory requirement, but who monitors that? Who enforces that?
Well, it should be, the onus is on us as well.
Exactly.
They publish it. We should go and check. That's what we do, and we have 10 days to do that.
Yeah, I think that's where my concern is. That's why I'm saying we as a opposition and all the other opposition political parties need to be monitoring this, and they need to be make sure they are on top of it, because there is a very tiny window.
Yeah,
the timeline is very short. Yeah,
it's very short. Now, certainly, just before I go, I just want to emphasize on our UDP chapter groups. If the chapter groups are watching their groups, they will know for a couple of weeks back, there will be information in all the chapter groups about being a polling agent for UDP. As we are doing vetting, certainly you are very much aware of this. We know that other chapters also are doing the vetting, and they are on to it and taking the qualified members, their names and necessary information. We are telling the UDP diaspora members to please help us and make this a process that is going to be a success. We need every committed member. We need committed members. It doesn't matter who you are, age-wise, it doesn't matter. As long as that's what is important. We need this information. We need them to stand up. This is for their country. This is for the people of the Gambia, and you are not doing it for UDP. You are doing it for yourself and the future of your children and your grandchildren. So let them watch their groups. Chapter, so they should have that in their groups by now, and let the committed ones bring their names forward.
Yeah, that's true. In the UK, we've already got our list of polling agents. We got the list. So, and I'm sure other chapters too, but the onus is on all the leaders of all these chapters and the executives to make sure that they implement this process is fully implemented, and that people like Ndebe Memfoka. So there shouldn't be anybody in any chapter who should say that I am not aware of this by now, because that would be the fault of your chairman or your other executive. UK, I don't think anybody in the UK who would say they are not aware that recruitment of polling agents in the UK, because we've involved all the branch heads, and all the branches are part of it. So, and I'm sure the same thing happened in gas and others. So that is true. There is a question here from somebody in Gambia, a question for all of us. But before more question on Yininka, let me go to the order, because Ninkola so meted. Lamin is there? Yeah, and I think this question is for you and Sanebalama. So your question of Sanebalama, I think is for us. So if you don't mind, you can wait for the question. So yes, you love Ninkala sign about John Karalamini about Fatima.
Why not a yellow bafo more mini along for ye cut off for a cut off no laugh like all the la election moment can be no. Already UDP or list also. Yes. So saying is what updated is what updated no water lay. Is what ye no water lay.
So yeah,
never Sweden when Cavale updated.
Imagine love that a malo move angale kamala what is it update what
is what ye no water election domin kana wala information o man futa follow because you I see tabale yatale pare woli
so master register will be to little computer system or
yeah.
Ndoluka Minnesota usually is the constituency reports or polling station reports or like a kina. So for instance, Nata Serekunda is polling station or take our land to Liso National Yala polling station number Natin Yaitan de Jamanu Capital File Jam. But the main register, Ikalo Walto 4, Dobe Casamas, sorry, Dobe Canifing, and in Dobe Kian Kayaf. Will told matally the date of birth are the same for your more killing multi. It only will verify no. You understand? Because they deal with the system. Now, us we're only given, I don't again, that's what I said. Yellow on Telever Junction, I have only nunko. the recommendations he gave to IEC, they should have taken that on board. Eko, alinga ya make sure all the political parties yekaro doku wala IEC as well. That's what the gentleman recommended. As IEC chairman, every every political party because once you are there working with IEC, in the interest of your party. Yeah. You see, but they didn't do that. So we're all left in limbo. For master register has details of duplicates of information, and knowing how human errors happened, it is likely. And secondly, is typewriting everything. There is nothing computerized. Even in the report, you cannot copy paste it. You have to manually type it yourself. Can't transfer in an Excel format. So it's just sad, yeah.
Okay. They are not technologically savvy.
Yeah.
You mean go to media, man computer on the sandbag. Lamin, go ahead. Lamin, Lamin. Okay. Ngama model kasela jang. I don't understand. You can Lamin Kante Matida. This is it. Lamin Kante Matida Beola. No, Lamin Kante la. But nga kunum fana seleta janne. Abong amandiamo. So sa ngama rete mete stop la pour que sele di bantaba. Because kunum fana seleta janne amandiamo bi fanam. So there is this 09191. Jumala woti. 09191. Ibi jela ba? Okay, but get it for Jindi. 09191. Okay, Adebala Mandia, Umbaring at Jindi. Okay, Fatima title on next to Janikata Lamin Dawaya.
Yeah, and I'll be a condo, say, well, we will go back about it. So, but Lamin Nimpan, Janin being in Sweden. Please, Nive Sweden, Stockholm chapter or Ele Malmo, Ele Yotobori. Malo for being chapter konola because this year do posita mi along consulata kodola and then sulata nyoma koyola. Lamin men sent and Jakabe Sweden. So malo because Lamin mela kontoje and then malo fana for being a chapter konola. So need mentor and a chapter konola you follow TikTok ebajala see join on a group and then UDP kola kakajaje UDP kola and then UDP kola glofa inyo kakaji de election of kanamba kanyari. So ni taranube Malmo elebe Yotobori elebe Stockholm ni be chapter so to presi mol contact e bajere si join ayo na mo botaje and then election mo fana be for temple registration na ya remember last year ni registration ya fole ya lola inate ya ke aliyo remember do li ticket o jotara Gambia tapale luna ta ko de fana ya bay. So this time for now more separate because I see more bukalela. Dinu mutapale wolleti. Tolle yalo kamenke anduma ihangita alanya. Ibe sila le Gambia la majority. Ya jube ya ande double nyoko majority left the carto file be ba make sure le bo be double la nyoko nyamenya. So bari mo be strapare ni ko si ko kenol.
Lamin you can call you said you can call. You can join the show. I can add you. Probably you left Madame Onying respond. Labi ibatele jini kakamba Lamin. Is it?
Yeah, Lamin.
Jini ngaro kejan amako can he call? You can call.
No program
Is it Lamin?
Hello, Lamin.
Yes, Lamin Jalen.
Lamin Jalen, ito nito mafang.
Malmo.
Ah?
Malmo. Sweden.
Malmo chapter kono.
Anyway, I'm on Jarang Moto for Marman Malmola Chapro Yalo and Lavin Jabba.
Okay, no. Yalo UDP.
Yes, no Malmola Chapro in Malmo here.
Okay, no problem.
UDP Malmo chapter.
Yeah, Bura di Balon Neva.
Is Bura Fonte. Go Bura Fonte. You say good looking. No,
I didn't.
No, but Lamin, hold on. Madam Kande, along ila Sweden members in Temo race, Fatma Lebanon in Carola. Okay, Lavramen, Manana, because I talked to Bura a lot, and I remember Bura is in Malmo. Wala nang ko foy Bura lone. Sa fonyo dron ko ngalone, but him ka fonyo ko is a nyininga Bura la. You know why man de nyininga la Bura la?
You are right on that because he went to young so them along. So of course you have a right to ask.
No hana rambije fam for Fatima da mantaraji. Fatima be Sweden le abe nyininga kan I debe Stockholm le. Yeah.
Stockholm le. So ndebe Stockholm le chapter but ndeni Bura be.
Ebe Ibrahima Diba mala.
Bura alam Ibrahima Diba.
Bura yalo ndeka fayne ko ndeka fayne Bura.
Ibrahima Diba la to Ibrahima
Diba le ngalo ntol belo bodo salkin ntana de be bodo salkin le.
Okay.
But come out kuluta banyul whatever. The other one meant at UMC. Wale salkin lo more than Ibrahima Diba member jang malmo jang ntebe to nyalo fola member UMC ntana at led in the yak.
Yo lamin ngani na wala wata yes
barang ka
so men kumara drong to ta kai ndol bitanya di den tol dole ko
seku ni nga barim bitanya men na bro na system men nyamen nak ala madungo fora ade
bari ya mankanya hakilol mankanya hada madingol mankanya andu hada madingo fana bayrin comme United Democratic Party nyana democrat ile choice le tata society tata le tata.
Okay, Fatma, let me just address this here, Lamin, one time. Live Nibe Kokono, I like to participate in something that is productive, okay? Because Yalong Ntolu Gambia, we have a problem, a big problem. Politico katara kafukilin ka fatanyola fa folota ndolni UMC le tema ba. Sirif Mustafa Diba aboda non PPP le. Fama bonon PPP le.
Yes.
But Anisha Dawda Kairaba Jawara, the political kono, in fact, it can know yaya. But Sirif was the vice president. He was in at Ikado Male corruption scandal, Butut scandal. I resigned at Adala own party lo NCP, and in Jawara Dunta, Nyobarim Biro Kono. You understand it? Asan Musa Kamara was in PPP, about a GPP law.
Yes, sir.
But did those people go on and on fighting each other? No, they did not. And you go to Senegal, Ablaye Wade and Macky Sall, they used to be part of one party. Macky Sall but Ablaye Wade la parti le kono. Yalan kule buka kaja men kutayata. Dunia lebe onyame ni moka ta kafukilin ne samal teta la kafukilin. Fonni Adama Barrow manta nun UDP. No, but yalon kuo fona yalon kamen for Lamin. Kuo ni afo anyanta ka kanyandolas. In fact, the more you talk about these people, iba fala ko okay ndol bota nyuni ko do ay dimile ngalo naka dimo wartale bot exactly. So this is what ndebe mem fokam you
but this is so disheartening for me.
No, but Lamin kumate jang itebe mem fola itebe listen kumate jang itebe mem fola mem man fo a bele fota nyin platform to a bele fota Facebook odo kumo bele satata jang. So why should we be talking about that issue every time? Ne mota ta apply tarek itela makati bayo be dameng yela party support I win wala makati bayoti ni mo bote ko do ite fana ila kato ke ya tandala ko okay ibotam ko non sa en defana ba mi excellent to la candidate o gagner
but sego yalo quand faut ngege family lofta pour fane we have to listen to one or different perspective of it going to be janne fana to be Sweden janne na bro nte koto kenin bro nte kay mom nte nala bro sol bele be jande Sweden jang ala bro sol ni bele be different ja Ibrahima Diba anu nte Ibrahima Diba nte natale ka boy Gambia nana ila moy de nte kuluta badi busal kenyele bari Ibrahima nana ta holiday fon la nte ni Ibrahima la ka boy ka wuli bro
Lamin fal man contact so do
bula je because ya
ngoyala nte babbe onasan ya call le ban kanyim faye bang
aliya contact so do bang
man contact so do barala bro sol men be dan ni wala
okay bari Lamin ala contact ko nyini ba to leka boy nungal ka wuli ko yemen fu ala contact ko nyini be men fu la ye audio bulaye wala fi sada fa yana banta ba jan kafo jango man na bawo ya ni ala number so men tambita tol teme itena telalo audio bulaye is better but why bring that here
because
no, did I encourage la? It's not gonna happen on my show. No. No, nafata la fang. Modol be jede enjoy. Yalong, let me tell you something. Modol be political kono lamin. No, amanke hakati. Ima haka sotonje. No, yalo lamin hold on. Yala yende kumandi jane ko I'm not real. Bari maje excellent. Nimo modol etin safo nyingo maria muna nambaslende but ngalo nyim platform bele kanyanta jang nyimu UDP lentenite bind together mse disagree but manya na kamfala nyobul ya understand so nyi issue nga landi nga move on modol be politiko kono nyine ka die nyin defante la ka dia wol dol be nyin wolte nyin topico bla la fo janin dizembe be nyin topico kala but it's ila ajolom ni memba kala yake nde I don't ndede more advice la jan ni mo lafta defante la on these people. No, leave it. Can we move on, please? Can you move on, please? Can we move on?
Still now, Nala brother soul bele be jande. Ilamo intol bele live in student jamal mo jang. With his own brothers, bro. But it hurts me. Mal mo ning copy ne kan Ibrahim adiba famo be jande. Ala oda brother famo be jande. Ibra.
No, bari more. Nga move on that Lamin. Nga move on. Let's discuss other things. Ngaloneko it hurts you, but let's move on. Yeah.
I have difficulties to move on because nobody sell Kenyale. Ibrahim adiba bota sell Kenyale. So for me personally,
Okay, guys, let's move on, please. I don't want to be discussing this topic. I'm sorry. Mute. But I'm one of the moderators like mute because maybe we need to move on from this topic, and I think it's important. Fatma, I'm gonna move on. Not a
I think you audio bulai because sometimes you play or in ma bondi kono. Akatara kono la always niya ikatara akuma kama nying katara kono akatara di minina di am tadawda but ni audio bulai ya be bondi kono ba jere be nyina nying kola. So bari comme la ngamen for IC ma draw wodro so.
Okay, Abaraka, thank you. Ngata Lamin ya fana meta jane Lamin endabo fana meta la moy lolo. Jani kala may kamera ya.
Yes, assalamu alaikum
Nimbara be nyaari.
Yeah, I do remember for that. United Democratic Party, Science and Bedame. The whole Gambia Bay, they know what UDP can do. I do bully hope shot on the back. So the men mold the Diamukan coalition, but it's not necessary for all these parties. So the best thing, that means you have to join the UDP.
Yeah.
It's a body. So we should not, in fact, so that what decision is very good. We have to take that. Now focus, in discussion with people, when matter UDP, to convince them, hope we can change this country positively what they want. We should not until the second election, the start of the second election will be fair. Now that to force la position. That is ever since. There is no politician who is tested than Hussein or Raji Hussein.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I tested so many times and I got a second.
True.
Up to now. So Ndenga Amira, men found Yanta Kakumen for fight. Well, IEC be killing Nanyame because all of Katina, all problem with. But the Gambian only have the Katofela Dame and the Gambian only have the Korean Baker.
True.
And the Gambian they believe in UDP and they trust us. No more than the political position they make Katakan. Like Yankuba Rohilo, Landin, even the deputy farm. But Katako make cake at Blado. He already a Mojamal hard win. So Yandaka minimum problem with IEC. The kind of a moment. IEC any medical cargo for Ivanka Gambano. If a Gamba is in Fedam, it can just take it like an election. Will best stop La Yamen completely on Betala Yamen drastically. All the borrow Benda. Willem quoting Yanda Kamen Kelesa, UDP and the character of Colenoma. No gold sugar and Yamen. But in Tomal, you lay in Diamo, let's forget about them.
They cannot make any changes. All of them together, near Kazola Nokam, I was in half my last election. And some of them talking right now, Wilmang, and even 50,000 voted, that's no. Already, UDP, 200 plus. What we need to win, that is electional mentionata. Both stop Lanyame, what's on them to consult the side. Always, Brigama not electional conduct Nyame, if all the constituency I think even the recession time for scrutiny schedule back and become a more Jamala reject jump. The cold do not tale, Yuna Nyolto, Ni Latiria Nyolto, which are all Calon Quorum Yefenko Chancellor registered.
Wow.
Most of them are the man of the Catholic for buying Catholico, near Catholic, mention on Kimolka, or Mount correct, Mal, with the direction that I'm for. But like people like Sambudan Fufana, Nida Brigama, Mr. Daru Herald for a Namon and Doto, near Nika Baffle, more ridiculous. Had a carol from Dolorania, I didn't know a mail to take a mail on Jam. Will be Tata Katari is the order area. Come a new Chival Canoe, constituency Beto. More Calo. No, we know each other here. Come and remember the government, because they are living with us. You look, you have to stop them. Tell them the reality that if you don't stop what you want to do, anything, we are ready for it. Because it's our country. Always the election of Qatar. You can add the celebration of a cake. You don't card the celebration of a Kenyama. Banko Beka Shuno. The citizen, real citizen, gave Qatar Sonori. But what can they do? IEC and incumbent. Kafunyoma, Kamola election Nakari against, election is very painful. A collateral and a dimitter. So the thing not only the UDP back at the come back, but Mindula quoting Yantaka Kende Ole Kumar, but Gambian, honest to God, you can cut off in here, and we were parade like a cut off in here this time.
Okay, thank you very much. Yamaro is very important. IEC Lako should be taken seriously. I really agree. In fact, I have a question on IEC, but my camera Bijaman is Sisla. Before Ngataji, Alaji Thurs, Sweden, Iko, you want to join. You need to send a request, but I have also invited you, but Emma accept. You comment like Iko, you want to join. Say who Alaji, I want to say a few words. You have to send a request to join. Moderator is saying, but I've also invited you. But Emma, you need to accept the invitation. Not a left on Alaji Nicola Myron. Okay, Abaraka Bakelamin, Nata my mute Renere. Okay, Sisla, you can go ahead. My mandiam flow. Enembara, Ibenyadi. Go bilon na sister la na fengala bad day from Aisha Noor, Sweden. Happy birthday to her.
Spain for Sweden.
Spain for Sweden. Spain. Abe Spain. The one can nimbarol compared.
Yeah, I love program with Kumar. It's very interesting and very educative. Then after the one didn't follow about, sometimes I disagree. When people come out, we should forget about UMC. We cannot forget about UMC.
Okay.
Because right now, UMC, the old media platform, the likes of MC Cham, you named it, attacking the UDP and our leadership. Even sign attack UDP, la parola molbuka kela. Fair enough, I agree with people, but we cannot sit and watch them say attacking UDP from all corners as people come because they are our problem today. Because UDP today than even MPPT. So we cannot sit, allow them media, no, we cannot forget about them. That's my opinion. And that's the fact, because even MPP now, they focus on their political. a party kataka more than Kasambe better than these people. These people are mission kataka UDP and we got a platform where they come before the platform they are and we see them on media called UDP names. So we cannot forget about them.
Okay, Sisla, I've heard you and I didn't interject you. I will give you
Sisla coming for his through. Sisla coming for his through. Sign a platform or you never will.
Okay, listen. Okay, I've heard both of you. I will give my response to you. Okay, Yalonte, naturally, I don't have powers to stop anybody from going back and forth with UMC. If anybody have time, you can go 10 hours every day and have a back and forth with them. It doesn't bother me. But what I'm saying is, look, yes, MC Cham was on the program and it was a panel discussion. But in that panel discussion, he had heated debate with Bayo Sonko. Bayo Sonko defended UDP and saying a lot of things, and he even calls them as DMC, Divided Youth Movement. So the exchange of words is on both sides. It's not like they are talking, we are not. We are talking as well. And whenever there is a program, even when Karafa Sonko went on that Sunureu, and the other guy, is it CB something, who's the UMC? We also have UDP representatives there. So it's not like they are talking and we are silent. We're having debates with them. And yes, so it's like I mean, for they discuss our platform, but we also have UDP platforms who go and talk about them. And this is why I would not agree with people. Yalo, my politics, I want to talk objectively. You see, Gambia position of Benjamin. The other person is wrong. You are right. It's just like today. People are saying that UDP are like a provocation or a plan. When you ask UDP are no, we are defending. But you ask other people, they will say UDP is a provocation. So who is right here? But when we look at the social space, the back and forth is on both sides. I am a UDP member, but when I'm going to my grave, I'm going alone. I'm not going with anybody. The back and forth is on both sides. Can anybody swear to the Holy Quran? Kafago, this back and forth is lopsided. It's not lopsided. And the reason, hold on, Shisla. The reason why I'm saying for me, they are not my problem. They can talk about UDP. For me, Barrow is more of an issue for me because Barrow is the one who is in charge of the economy. He's the one in charge of the systems. These people cannot hijack our election today. They cannot rig our election. Barrow can. So me, I want UDP to win. I will devote a good chunk of my time on them. Yes, they can talk about UDP. All what they are saying about Hussein is not a winnable candidate. That's what they are doing. But will they have the means to go and rig Gambia election? They don't have that power. Who has that power today is Adama Barrow. Adama Barrow has the power to go fundraising 2021 because Barrow rigged our election system. And that was painful. Because Barrow today is giving 50 million to Gambian women. Has UMC done that? Barrow has $19.93 million is given to Barrow's government. For Gambia Musul. Africa Development Bank la deal. IEC fele mole question on Akonyeko, you know what? You guys are talking about election, but I'm listening to you. You said IEC should not be trusted because Madam Sanya. Akonye, why are you going to election with Barrow then with IEC is not trusted? Somebody asked that question. And we are sitting down here, and you see, Sisla, if Gambia is like UK or other advanced countries where elections are done freely on IKEA, you think we'll be talking about this coalition thing? UDP alone can beat Barrow. Because young election obuka rig, not in the UK here. Election obuka rig. Incumbency buka use young election osunya. But take an advisement, maybe you will not see it. It's a waste of time for us to be going. Because these people look at the survey. The survey says they are what? 2% of Gambians believe they will win. That is people's perception. But how many percent believe the UDP will win? 20? So we are 10 times ahead of them in terms of perception. So you want to go today, Sisland, naka defante. So the difference between us and these people is not like only NPP is a defante, yes. NPP is UDP. But these people are no match. For me, they are no match for UDP. It will follow your lonely. So if I want to waste my time and be on Bantaba and Nkanankela Kumofo, don't like a tarde. But you guys who believe that you will go toe to toe with them, carry on. I'm not stopping anybody. I cannot stop anybody. If anybody says I'm going to go to platform, if you think that will give you votes and that is going to help your party, carry on. But if Shehu Sedili doesn't want to make it a topic, people should also respect that. Just like I respect you going to hours and talking about them, okay? You should also respect, this is my program.
Which I respect.
Exactly. But some people don't want to respect it. Some people want to come here and bring it a topic, and Nimana topic, like this gentleman is calling me that I'm not real.
You know, you are not real because I know you.
No, you know me. I'm not talking about you. You've never called me that. And you've never.
I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people saying we forget about them. That's what I'm saying. We cannot forget about. Because these people, they come to destroy UDP. Even on the ground politics, they are doing it. You can like things for UDP. Man, we see the videos.
Sisla, you know that jarale me la kurwo accept. So Sisla, you know that jarale. Listen, my brother. You know that jarale. The video is audio is out there. Me la kurwo accept. And I'm aware for the same thing happened in Brikama. I don't talk about these things, but I also get information. So it can remember the even the Moltala. Not only itata jarale, they are giving tumultuous welcome. The crowds reject. Then we can have this apprehension. But they were rejected in Jara. And
we had all that.
Yeah, such things we should condemn. Such things we will condemn.
And then
yeah.
the media, we see them all the time. Problem, right?
Yeah.
But it's not their problem. UDP is their problem.
You know why, Sisla? You know why, Sisla? You know the answer. You are smarter than this. For them, they see that maybe they have lesser to lose than UDP, but for another thing, like Carola. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah. Because it all the more dolphin call for you control my war in Abetina like Tinyambela Carola. Okay? Until we have nothing to lose because it will go la first attempt, but in Tolbaka for 30 years. So ning folk have been to le hotla more than them. It's all of them.
Last time,
yeah.
They should in fact fight how to be registered with IEC first.
Exactly. But in the Sisland, them have money Canada defante. You may have any defante. You are free to do it. You know.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move from this topic anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, come down like voters will come vote. April. I'll look for ya.
But you got Senegal, you got for a Gambia.
I was there at 21.
But you got in Senegal, right?
Senegal from Gambia.
No, man, you got Gambia airport or Sisla.
No, I'm not about last time, my last time Gambia airport it was 2007. That was the last time. Yeah. One day I was scared to give Gambia airport. The reason Gambia airport, I'm not gonna give my 20 pounds to those.
I'm gonna go airport feel a job.
No, that Gambia airport from I can't get it. I don't feel, what I mean. So.
But for the Barbaro Koni, a content in for the Gambia, then at Araslale.
I'm in town now, so don't worry.
But if I Barbaro, I control Ninto for the Gambia. My camera for a list totally. I have a Barbaro list totally. My camera. My camera for an ad list totally. Yeah, ad. No problem. Y'all political, we agree to agree. Yeah.
Bring 2021 election most of people relax, boy. You come out.
Yeah.
You take your time and do time is the money.
Yeah.
It's our time of I come and see you 2 hours. You can down more so more than the respect of come because you get a time always you come.
No, on the balance is like more and criticize from.
To be honest, come here when you're because not only Yeah, I can't vote is true. The other one of the party members. But what if I'm told you, more for like an more political tent.
No. Imagine couldn't go malam for a program la mele men nata jala after UDP called Jahase malam for bonara ko imagine stop.
Yeah, hello strategy level.
Exactly. Because another like Puruka Molu UDP called Damal Faino Kang. Yeah.
So imagine for having a mayor from a plan movement that just got UDP called Kampala.
Yeah.
That's their plan. So we know all that. We are too aware of that, because that's why you can not all take MPP or fake not all MPP. Yeah. So just got UDP called Kampala and the we have to be very careful. You cannot push him for the mayor until Rohi announced about the UDP. He's still UDP. So they go for UDP called. We have to be aware. But anyway, evil plan.
Inshallah. Abaraka says, thank you for your boldness and honesty. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Abaraka. My camera is jelebang. My dalga mental line order. So, Mr. Lamin, so a program or wrap up sign. Because mam called so nying NPP ko e men nyinin kateng ako faten bijana yara fam faten meta batu roland ako nintol ko IEC sane malaman this question is for you ako nintol ko IEC man tili munana nimbaro kata election on the IEC so allow question ode ako nintol ko IEC man tili munana kata carte fayola sane malaman that question is for you. Maybe you should come up and answer it. NPP go ko IEC man lala. So ako muna ning IEC kata carte fayolas. Ning baro kata kaisi.
No competent IEC. Nuale me for yo tamandi mansakunda wale president o mantara ke tol haya ke bule le posol kono ka sonka 301,823,000 o bule le bank account ko yalo ndiamote siar then we know we have a free and fair but statutorily Gambia to be a president you have to be elected we have to follow those rules and guidance so tolbe min kele wolem that's what we have to counter as a party.
So, no, but he is asking you that you don't trust IEC.
I don't trust.
So he say, why are we going to election with Barrow?
52% of the recent polls, 1,245 people believe the IEC is not trustworthy, which is why they believe President Barrow. 46% of them believe the Barrow will be winner. Imala because Yamira ko balo dogo okay because Yamira loko IEC man kata be wino direla. So ofana bijel as a factor. So but we have no choice. We have to do because Lua immune for them you cannot be elected unless and until you go through elections. So until the mean kela kai can make sure we counter as much as possible without meaning that you know better be block. That's what we have to do.
Madam Zane, kori defaran tomanda listo bala.
Asikeno.
Fansel bismillah.
Okay.
Yama fansel bada sinola.
Bari nani kerfa tuta ofana diata le ba samale bo fola ngami.
Non ko bi ngaje ya menten sanyandi akamta ko am pareta fenko kurfenyo fayla plat
konta siata ndati honestly speaking
ona amira kurfenyo ma faide
parfois c'est ni alonte yamuno nyuni be fambu
amira da afaita jele
subhanallah amam faide de bara ibina show ntinya kanne
illa anu yalla men disappoint ñu be mu député wolleti
yana se ko sai nta fango fe ngami njeje nte biringela woje ko nyilu natara ni ni platform tiel natara mo invite ila dulato bayri natara ali kallo ni jumani beta dol bije ni wol fa fo ko hani because wala ko beta yata dina
e kalon ne because ñu ne announce le kabrin kuno
they wouldn't have attended it when
yalo ngamere nyanta menkela because even Fatu as the moderator atele nyanta ka interjection okay like she said
she did she asked them to stop
but they would not listen so ngamera nying it will media houses all about avoid la maybe can you fulolo so because they from Sehu Malo be sirinjele obe yeah
no abana fa warta de Gambia o kay nte malum be kala janyami na seku nta de sisla min fonte fanambe o kuwala to
okay
yalon to nyale to kay momo ni la wele mu itata ite nita nata baro kisi ay fengol min be dun di laranda ko to ye finti ye nandi nyenye jaba kese woto bar nyemmo do lu fanan ha seku nyil fanan wo kanyi nyil fanan man pati je Gambia ko ne min ko min tambita UDP la nyil talibe na la nyimmo lu bi ya fo baro e wi na e tuje Gambia be batamin ko na e continue wala biyata nyil bi ko Usain Dabo le winit ha nyil fanan be tele o kelele be fere le be kuo kuto ndan ko ka je do UDP o wonena kana mara o banko la nyil fanan na lon
okay ba yalla fasen la fe nyini galam ne la fasen bi ninto nin nyini kombe tala komen kanyo counter kanyo attack kanyo fenke so sain baro be kala nyaari that will be ba o wedi ala baro because ajibe nyim platform ajibe nyim programme fo men kala se hu malo be sirinje se hu malo me alon ko tolle men banko fon la problème oti instead of nyim mo fulol ye abe condamné ne di fo fon ka diami tema oh it's embarrassing
ha bar sai ni aji de hani yalum tanga understand ne tebe minna de yala UDP fananna platform tiyata la fonte andi ite fanan be minna ten ibe minna wolum to mbete tarano ku kilingo ka bari ni ma jana nye ma jana baro bu wolum ku wolet
no but Farsen let me tell you something same phone in platform to phone baro la ko mo ko fo back oppositional damalle ka taranyola nyim platform to nimbe tonya ba because mbele kata nyim platform monito kam ajibe scandalo keta Gambia bi sane bala mankole scandalo ko ikata iko mo nyim platform to bakele no same platform to find oppositional damale ka nyo bi fo platform dolom balendro keta je malum fa yalla moy de
ani mawla moy
imawla moy ni wularo la jila bandere jaw
bara manka UDP platform
amanga UDP independent ba UDP ngole ni modo be nyobanen kan opposition damal so baro sayin baro fan because mbole moy kan ani MPP ngole ko sayin ko kan iko sayin baro e kayro soto sayin baro kan baro dahat
se ko kana jete
ha
man kayro soto no baro man kayro soto nin to ngamira baro e kayro soto baro man kayro soto yalo Gambia wolle bita carte fayla fo wonte
no yala idol quand même fo ma fo ko comme baro be gagner la whatever ngala quand même fo bari quand même fo iko say baro dahatan say bawo say ndamalle be kurfe nyol fay kan nyokan ha so say baro nyina ta baro ko bola
andi se ko do fanan bi yen tamanda korni fanan nantene nte ode malo bar de sondo monene mawota comme ça mol kan nyimmi foko nim patio be ballanyo kayte baro boy ndino lan tol ka baro le nyaadu ndim fangola for 2021 mambaro boy ndiba
ha yalo
la 100% 2021 baroma win seko baroma win tol bebe Gambia le seko baroma win 2021
no fa yala ika damen confused no ngema ko je yalo ninko win I officially jumale announce ka win te jumale kalindi
ya tele kalindi bari min keta wata seku billahi wallahi barna tata tiliwonin to nyala ntengalon ne bi Gambia kono bi carte fayta tiliwonin to nyala hani nyim patiyol be tiliwo kiliyela boxo londi patiyo carte fayta tiliwo anin to nya kono adam barote winna o bankoka
okay fache nanga hakilo blandi mona keta kian kaya fo tiliwonin to nya sabati dajele ba
wala bukatama je wolto
bare mbe wole fo kanko yala ngole fo jang ko Angleterre jangol fo Sri Lanka ni Angleterre jannon man ko lesono ni jang election buka sunya jang jay buka fo ko tele president yala yi advantage so jang election men na kaste o men fo wala ka konti mo buka mo la carte san jang ni aje mbenda lo kanyin karto kam biko man sekunda bi baro ya jamme meta election ni regular Gambia le fo 2016 ala makoy kabre 1996 UDP ka gagnele the same problem but ya jamme ka pengo so ningo faten afonye political party kabre Gambia ya fallo political party nane dama election win Gambia le ba without coalition so wala nan ko afale ko tilimbali anen beji nin kafo lota kafo le fanan sembo warta mo kele nyaaje kanyen fo nin free and fair election o ken control man coalition ni comme men for 2021 te fanan birital ko UDP le gagneta because tel bebe Gambia la ay mbetara jile right ba fase nyaaje kanyen fo ajibe sign ni nyo sabo men bebe caring to we get distracted okay nte like I said nte I don't nte nimme I feel ko ela fa platform le yella ka UMC la kumofo ilebe UNC da mala kumofo o muy mari la right leti ya understand bari nte ka jibele ko e ko moto me nyaato ko le corne moto me ko me ko corne fasen UDP le be nyaato okay ndella diamo ndenga merako ñunu se ndefam ga ñunu jaabi la nga UMC jaabi la because lu mena ye programme ko ba usenu ila platform ko ba usenu le deportation o sign ngo kajajan because ngalo ne ko wo manke kuti me alon ko ba accept la bari ni fase ni ko ba kala lolum ko fo mati anyway ato bari nga blatol bulu
bari seku ni ajibe kanaje Gambia karte fayo no aja halo wartalde e kanyin NPP ko je nyilu ya jele wo bay election o min keta ye muneke hani wo alikalo mi ya bondi fayte ya mutala ko ya minne koy ba bondi ale ma minde ade mu strategy letide ikumatala ko dinga o pri paranga o bondi iba jele le kiyan ko ya fanana alikalo o fanan be silalale imaje biri en nyindo bondi nyindo fanan silata do fanan duntala mol kangani la sefo wol fanan duntela mol kan bituwo ko nkali ya jere na la fitan tol fanan hajo e tinya ale opposition o winindi doro na la fitan hajo e tinya ale opposition o winindi ye o bondi o dalilo le kamma dur kan nyindo wol silandi imaje biri sok sita do yo murundi biri sok sita do yo murundi no se yalla biyo je munake diamta abaraka se ko batinge football
fa sera baraka soku da la mafo la baraka ba ya moy
ko deportation ko bawse no sign for diamta o ko mo sai ka holland le demande sign bi e ku do le fana wulinde ko to ke bi ko e ko ne aje ko leso no mo be Gambia be ni lonne maje UDP manson eko because ni aje fango 2016 coalition of keta ba usen be prison na olatin na coalition of keta but nothing water coalition of tekela
okay
brother said sometimes kai adimina
ngobe platform do le bi ndiro kata dami
ta fango be platform do le to nde be platform do le to ndiya mutaje after birim pareta do jita atata ya fancy platform ile ka UDP banning ka UDP ko bide tolna te mari bile be platform ta ko ala dalilo moneta ko birin tolbe diamola abe dere na man femfo bar birin tol pareta diamola dron ate diamoda te dron nka interject so atata ya fancy platform e kamol banning kamol neng kam no brother say Gambia fan political to nyin 2026 le na botawle because ajakalo fan ka warale sometimes ni ite jono la because ni man kulu men ne buka asikano ya jere nduni imman ko me yalon ko nen ro fan kan te kenya man
manjara ala de my intere advice la menna ila politiko ke ila advocacy ke kana any involved in any drama to fo ila wululal be jije amana fa soto kana so moy provo fo no ndiro fo ke fam
definitely. I didn't know fonka wara ba kelen sometimes.
Yalo nying social media jam fengo fen ntela nying program of on saying a member jele ba record kam. E katwa record la le katwa record la. So e fengo fen ke jang internet ora aka stage le forever. So
anyway, dan tabe mem fola UDP nkoli alin tole focus nganna politiko mutabari ntol data kole sonoto yen tol genken dilen tol manke banko dingote. So banko dingol ye kata nyole kole sono ken tol mem manke banko dingote mfane ala dani nga nyomuta kilingote nga fitino bondi ndamal tema nim benta dawo da nim seleta platform momento ni fitino wulinde ntol nga jije nga tan na platform molto nga na diamol keje nga ay tan de Gambia dingol la ko mem tonya bari tonya silanka Gambia mo be nyan na ojelal adun tonya la fantu maranke yata banko kambar Gambia dingo be nyan na tonya jelal ndu be nyan na jelal ko tonya nyin ko lesson kumo men be folaten UDP iba aside la jete be tonye kan because ni na taji be fango wala nanta buka jamfa baka kota because ni na taji be ite ni la wili kilon be sire nte na kesa kilon be sire ko nte na wili kilon tanga wala ite la kesa kilon ka ite nte wo hana hakilo fango sawta no ba bar nyin kay alin tol nga focus dron ngai tan de Gambia dingol la mem mutonyati ngai tan de Gambia dingol la ko UDP la patiyete men sim bonde nyi masi bokono nyin carte final ali ngoy tan de Gambia dingol la nga diamwe nga kolke nga ninna moli diamu nga kolke ngai tan di la ko banko be
Alaji, let me check. You said you sent request. Sorry. Apologies. Okay. Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Abe bulo men kona abe bulu jawo le kona linga mexo na banko bonde ni bulu jawo kon
Fadu wale ila request bijane sorry maje juna sorry
adu alinka na moli encourage ni na kafo ko ha nin ko le sono manke UDP ta winna no UDP can be firde fana modle kanan kon molle botaje bar e firde
no yala alka kuma kilim misal mo ma fo UDP ta winna de mamera because membe wina ala le wolong okay
no yeah definitely yeah nka mem fong
monega say Toure si bandaba I've never seen say Toure here
brother say
for mistake all man say Toure tinga say Toure da boda political role say Toure ngala request gis na sa request fi de why yo bokolo politics yo mom yang si lenen yeah go ahead
nka mem fong kon kana nyin dundi mol mo kono ka foko ning kole sono UDP man keje mo ta winna o banko kan o ning kole sono manke ntolte winna no
yalla mana mol ka fo may yalla mana mol ka fo
ha
kabrin Gambia election start patio nana winta jela on their own bang
no anamananke
so mafa ate kala node but inko mebe easy la coalition be easy la but as a kenole
membe easy la ko to nyati wala mo banko be ka funyo manga coalition
exactly
ko ni ko malo manden ko ka fanyame
no mai coalition pour mbenga kambe wote sotola no pour UDP ñim pati ñim mfutata dame maje yaya mente ye même fo kerfatu ya moyde ako 3 horse race nka même fo ja fana yol fa ko UDP itoli la motanto bari ngaba wo fana manke problem ting nse president saba nse mo saba lo UDP la candidate lo ja melben tol support la wole fanka itol fana nina kayro sabati rek
ikawala fo sai wala be bulo kono ko 3 horse race
ngake woti dorom
so then ninga ke woti yala wala mubaro esi
hani wo fonga da mai ni se baro bondi nole hani wo ke se ni tol fonatre tol ma fayla candidate hoyde ni yada yala tol UDP tol la fayla na candidate hoyde
yalo wol be lore mem fango ka wol man tara lore pour be president yaso to la dis and wolu be lor na pour ka UDP tay
pour itol ka UDP fondi
ko itol ta sotola
bari tol fana da sotola
so la UDP yo
ay bari tol manke alati ko
wolu be lor wala ka wolu be lor wala ka wala parti be lor wala kam fo parti lam fo movement I don't know be lor wala ka ko itol ba mek so la le
told this time with us to la bari ba make so la UDP wo ete yaje so wala munyente ko next election o ba jela ko nimbaro winter this election ala man tankalala ni woketa the next election it will be chance to la le pour y la leader party register la leader lon e kanyene fo
okay ala be menkala December 5th haraba jongo kala furole ke bari membe ala be menkala ala da male wolo
UDP nak alin toliamuta damen ko na karta wata sunya la kota ke banko ka alin nga woto muta e bamban ko na karta umba defennale ata sunya la kota ke banko ka adu nyim luntangol men no kadum boda kono mbe mu Gambia dingole te ndumbe nyol
ma ibida registration olal
yes nen ala santa ya
do male ni fadu babaro be kala nyame
ay iko ento kay ko ben tabatu kan airport olot
iko fadu babaro e kay listo le soro ngame fana bijele de
ambe je ntabe tema la ko tancha ntala na talo le fo be fata de do ya ka DP fali wala so ninga na DP me fali do ko ninga na DP me fali ko scream sot le ya samba ko yo yare ni nan dembe jo soro no ba
okay abaraka badenga you said you want to say something quick.
Whatever I wanted to say, my whatever I wanted to say. I think, yeah, exactly. Has all gone out of the window. I am going to sue Suleiman Saho. Suleiman Sulale. Like seriously, they make my Turakunda sister go through this.
Mavera Fature na interview Sifa ke ngala na mana ni. Bar Fature fana ne ni si akam bra ni moflol invite.
No, it is sama you have to come again.
But yalon debe fo ila diamo nte bota jele biri kana konglo fo after ila diamo garawta bang.
I want to see the full video.
Oh, you go Fature showing closely.
See, have to stop it. I have stopped it. See, have to stop
wow.
it.
That is embarrassing.
Like I don't think she has never see. I didn't think Mommy Ranine had through such an interview in her life, like this kind of thing.
Wow.
Oh my!
That is embarrassing.
Mera fango such an interview. UDP kolnya na stop lale ning you look at sometimes in
yeah. This is you see what is the problem. The problem is if you do not have capacity to talk on issues. And you don't want to allow other people to talk on issues.
Oh, so somebody got there nearly fought. Wow.
Well, it has to be. It has to be.
Dole o comment there. Ako demanding kurpenyol be.
Well, nantako maybe for kurpenyol for fight the mamba kalama.
Bari go UDP ni UMC they be come far nyota mabakele. They for kula bi jende ma men kalamoda because nte o kay.
I will break the comfort down for you. In fact, I was saying, like, let's move on, let's go back on to topic.
Apply kongesa wana bare apply te fana kana rube. Apply te kana rube, apply drama rek, apply lafta drama. No, Nancy wombe ote block la banta bale, Nancy. Ngamo e gambe no ka rube de mfana ngamo e rube wolong
no
I think wolong ka ko agitate apply
I think it's important. It is very, very important hadamadingo ikari for comport no in terms of politics, in terms of issues, you know, ni yalong ko ite diamuno la issue sola. In a position whereby you cannot handle those positions. I think Mr. Menteng Nyantelenu in interview I have I don't have the capacity. Because the thing is, see, Aman Lafika Mr. Sahobula idea on issues at all. So he have to be so loud. He had to go over his voice. He have to do everything to stop the guy to talk about issues. So wala na ko ya tele pour ñu mole politico diamu men yalon ko they have nothing to offer, nothing to say. They don't base anything on the issues. They don't bring anything into the political space other than rural new Sonko. Nyine kake ala result. Ni rural biketa. You know, the guy doesn't have anything to say. The guy doesn't have anything to bring on the table. So akuma tambatunga wuri nga Sonko ke nga wuri mol kanate moy mol kanante fana mo.
Habande idi. Ngai ndela fla nyini ngaro lekela. In the diaspora here today, this evening, there was a fight with the UMC and UDP, war of words, okay? Serious platform of this evening, they was there.
I rather we don't talk about that. I will send you a message download. Please let's not.
No, Manda Diamola, and carefully it happened. Okay, I'm not going to go in the
in fact, there's another development to that, and this is why I will even message you down below. So I don't even want.
No. Can I platform? The platform in Tofola, just carefully wrong. Yalong, okay, Kerfatu Fanang, the same drama. Sonko, what is the? It's like it's a deep Kamfale Bay and Fenkole Bay. So it looks like we at least I think there's appreciation we have more softened towards NPP and Newfoundland they are more softened towards NPP than us. I think there's a bitter thing going on between them.
Let me tell you something. These people are very angry.
We
are for a candidate UDP. They are bitter.
No, Abla, you point to Koma. Yeah, we are the poor Sembo Mensoto, they thought they had and they realized what they never had. Yeah.
They have wait in you. I want to come fast. Neither the Gambian is actually Parul Dale Beta Sala. More than they were made a sal, but what they do in UDP massive. It's a market. So they are disappointed. You know, it's a more blackmail and young call the boy. I can't say I can't call a pending and from fucking insult my boy. Yes.
But somebody said Sehumbalo was in heaven. Yeah, yes, Alaji. I'll get a chance here, Alaji. Alaji want to say something.
Ebe point soto janne bare ntafananga mamira wala muko ni mol be ikam fatale taking into consideration la first experience men ya soto alfon la tundo to jara and many ke o disappointment o kela UDP kollel so ya fa nyawandin kamfa be la kol korole be kamfa seriously yo bare my yaya maintaining Suleiman Sao la program on maje bare nye me tande wala munyintiko there is a tough time ahead of us ningana ta campaign ola nundunta campaign yokono because nem misal fe komen nemu mollet men yaron ko you know they should know better ni ibita interview la you know I mean, it will nyanta thick skin sort of it will be do women women ala wala munyintiko you know inyanti found control no la you know man keno studio kono so ninta ta filo kono we meitandi wala munyintiko nin campaign nin ate easy la back yo but lafta comment la dame wala mo nin coalition ko nin so ndaga UDP la position no understand and nga understand nyamen hypothetically ninga miracle you know lafta menkela or it will be a coalition on nin ya lead saying nimisal fail it will be a coalition on your lead UDP blurry no moko sisi chafalmo ning menkata coalition on la leader yalong ning achako agreemento manke agreemento me yalong ko you know I mean memorandum of understanding menkata coalition on la leader ninga kanyeta so afawon bala ani merbe do ko kala afawon be tombon na kodi yajele yo nuwo keta
I meant Tombo because Gambia system will board a jam. Nabura mela kuma kuntu but news on the weekend Gambia. No, but what a killer, killer, don't talk about it. Because I was a killer. Party leader never gonna happen. UDP is open for coalition. But in preconditional Bukana agreement bula. And when you Pareto will come in preconditional. Dabo was, clear about that. Nsi Kachale and Harrington from la Sweden jang 4-party coalition or bejang. Ika commandi TDO agreement because it had a sate or doleto ye retreat kedye. For more than 1 week, ika voje TDO brief la kolata yake TDO agreement wonyenti. 4-party agreement wala andum ibela sanbi fulanja wala kono jang sign yaje bari ibeni la agenda lel nata na swaibu ture moyla abediamu kan swaibu ture was talking something about that comment patrol nila agenda lel bina alnala visionoena alnala manifesto aliye aliye retreat aliye kacha. By agreement when you find albeba respect la.
Is that Halifa Salala Team Gambia la framework or what even? Is that what
framework what?
Okay.
You but in preconditional tinano and that way meant for again ako until no problem UDPV until no problem is IEC. This IEC no problem what because ning atununko nga confidence to IEC to and IEC fana yela role play ko inya e commence we ka for nyame like in the western hemisphere jang election o ka kenyame ndola jang Sweden in September bita election ola but mobuka ila electoral commission on mobuka question mobuka auto for because na alone ne ka for will better do ko kala nyama andung comme menika for UDP B nem misal fe IEC independent yela doko ka nyama. UDP we can go it alone. But B nyem banku na situation of Benjamin abe betia lale na coalition or soto. Ninga adama baro bondije then wokola reform lieke system put in place then for abekala nying tam kilwanyin net bank then more basita if I but asatra ko the playing field is level asatra ko reformal and so on ngamira ko abe banko mako lale benga nga kafu nyoma ndamamra UDP that's a good thing but dabo mem for coalition o te kenola atole na alnin precondition because UDP any precondition manna ni mem be ka foten ikamo ni molla party bata caring party fenkere caring nyentekala but UDP has never came with any precondition.
No, UDP did, Alaji. UDP did.
Yeah, precondition. Okay, go on.
UDP did. Yeah, okay. Let's No, hold on. If you are going to a negotiation, you have to go with a position.
Yes.
UDP went with a position.
You can go with a position, yes.
Yeah. UDP go in a position, and the position is we will not go into primaries. We should have a party led. That's UDP's position. So Faram, they gave precondition like we will not have a candidate that's not a winnable candidate. So both sides have given this. We have to go to primaries. So both sides give conditions.
Because you left the game on them play.
They'll have to gang up together, then you cut off and you double. Yeah.
Yeah, but come and be a given. And I don't know them much. They want their delegates to be the same exactly the same numbers.
Say who?
Naam.
Naland bandinja. Yalon misal feka primary memfoteng. Say who? Nim misal fentata primary la. Di ajiben ni manya menketeng. Ninko ngata primary la. Ibaflo loko maybe 100 delegates le sambal nang kodi. For example.
Yeah.
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 Okay, but here UDP la size given. UDP manyanna 100 delegates sambalanang.
But Alaji, I did analysis on maybe in the Edibal. I did analysis on this platform on this issue months ago. I said even if UDP hypothetically, if we agree to go to these primaries, this system is very peculiar to Gambia. It's only Gambia that I've never seen this anywhere in the world. But hypothetically, if we go to this primary system, we will not agree to have equal delegate system. Because I said to UDP executive, if you allow this, Dabo will lose that primaries because if they gang up against each other, like imagine if we take 50 delegates each, it's all 5 parties multiplied by 50, that's 250. How can UDP win that primaries? So Mr. Dabo Olevo left hand to gang up against. I said it here. I said if we're going to go to primaries, if UDP have 300 delegates, then they should have 50.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. If it is 4 parties, we are going to primaries, let them have 50 each. So 50 by 4 is 200. So UDP can have a guaranteed victory, 300 delegates. There cannot be equality here because the party sizes are different.
Where have you seen in the world? Where coalition primary name one place in the world?
And this peculiar system is only peculiar to Gambia. Yeah.
Within the party.
Yeah.
Not like coalition.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't monkey.
No, yalo ablay anamananke baraketa Gambia 2016. Wole ni kude samanan. Yes. Menketa UDP was very lucky in 2016. UDP could have easily lost that election. But that time, PPP was on our side. Okay? My party was on our side. In fact, they are now going around accusing UDP of we bribed. You hear all this rhetoric. We bribed those delegates. And you hold the narrative on the platforms. You hear it. You go bribe. Look, you know what? You know how to expose their lies. Them see yala Oje Jalo. When he was alive, he said, "Ate momo wa gaya mi new channel UDP." He said it, but you will never hear them quote that phrase.
They are not talking about that.
But he said it. He said he said they spoke to their delegates to vote for UDP. He said it in an interview. But they will never talk that because they want to ignore anything that favors UDP. These people will not say. But Oje said that in an interview that they spoke to that, and my party also said he spoke to his delegates to vote for UDP. My party is alive. So in that case, how can UDP bribe? If you have got 2 parties who have told their 70 delegates to vote for Adama Barrow, okay, and these people came out publicly and said we spoke to our delegates to vote for UDP candidate. But these people will go in a very disingenuous manner to their platforms and spew allegations, lies upon lies, accusing UDP of anything. It's just like how they are pitting Honorable Halifa Sallah against this Apex thing. They are trying to put Apex as the bad guys. Halifa Sallah is the good guy.
They even say that they are more favorable to UDP. When I heard them, like, what?
Oh gosh. Gosh, it's just crazy.
It's a credible Gambia.
But after the
Yeah. Dear Jao is you got to question his integrity. He's not going to be.
If he wants money and power, he could have been.
He would have been with Barrow. Yeah. Yeah. This is the problem we have to deal with as a party. We have these huge challenges. Yeah.
As the situation is right now, policies change along the way. But what is the way forward?
No, the way forward is like I also made that statement here that we will have a 3-horse race. What about Kela? Yeah, 3-horse race. I spoke about it here long time ago. Huh?
What they say UDP, not what other people
if that is the case, what is the way forward for UDP?
For UDP.
Because until lafita le election when you win.
I think the way forward is for us to do our campaign, and we jealously monitor the electoral register.
Right.
Okay. We keep close eye on IEC.
Right.
Yes. And for me, Dingo okay, na campaign okay, and then the diaspora people participate significantly in the election, we would have a very good chance.
And what I'll add on that is UDP, like you say, focus. There are parties who will join UDP.
Yes.
That's I know, up to 4 or 5 parties. Most likely, yes. They will put their weight, they will endorse UDP. Yes. This will happen. It even can be more, but this will happen. 4 to 5, that's going to happen. Because there are negotiations. And I think those people cannot go on their own just like that. Their followers will not accept that. So they will tell them to join UDP.
And one thing also is very encouraging. See, observe, more and more people are willing to travel to the Gambia.
Yeah, this time around,
this time around, which is very positive.
Yeah.
And in Fanan, I understand Kaj Foucault, diaspora chapter, mo Jamal Fanan be volunteer le puruka kate
polling agents out. Yeah.
So we'll do mukuleti many alonko. It's very positive.
Yes, last time a lot of diaspora went. But do like a motor burrowti and going around.
Semester.
And check, guide the election. But this time around, a lot of people want to volunteer, and then just be pulling.
No, this is a more tada from more manjana sila jana pipeline from.
Yes, no. Yes. Even MPs, they have to be filled agent. Member of Parliament. We need more men.
All of them will be this time around. There is going to be a lot of changes that will happen. Even all our chairmen, so many diaspora, they are all going to be polling agents as long as they're going to be in the Gambia. The problem that we had last time, we are standing on the way of that. What happened? If you want to drive, you want to be a semester, do it after we say we double on the 5th or on the 6th in the morning. You can do that. You have all other years around to do that. This is only one time. We need everybody hands on deck.
Ndeka elaborate woto comment Jan Tulga Kenyamen in Sweden chapter Jan already Tulga we have about 6 or 8 people many alonko will already volunteer to Prukake polling agent sold chapter into Jan you andung comment vetting like la background given kajoko these are right people many alonko and most of them have almost a baby executive on nokon so ba yo ko niyo sifa so to amanka comment randomly yemol tombon bla fo comment ninga toko alla executive or molel mo so ba yo ko maybe they would be very active and be responsibility taler because having them can diamu the volunteer to look ke polling agent short so ba yo ko ninga ko plale and alonko ebela doko kala nyama o ninga wato nyesita.
Yeah, it's looking good, but it's not going to be pretty in 2026. I think it's going to be a very nasty campaign. I'm predicting that.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's going to be a nasty campaign.
We think that we might, because if you look at the chapters in diaspora, we have around 18 to 19 chapters in diaspora, and each chapter, at least in the executive follow, they have 20 or 22 in numbers. So even if we are going to go for the lowest of 22 in your executive, because you cannot have people in the executive and then you do not trust them, they have at least the 4 score. So if you multiply 22 by 17, you are at least getting think 374 people from only the chapters. One chapters only executive for the mallet. So we are hoping the chapters are going to be encouraging their executive to take the lead on this.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what am I for in the war?
But say, you know something about this because it a be the Cody.
Yeah, I don't just want us to talk much about it. So
okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. So
because, I mean, you don't more
internal matters already.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand.
We make some blend we have the local use there. We have those from the diaspora because it's too watching.
Abla kana na kulol be fo jandu kare.
No, but you mango kulol. You mango kulol. One thing said, never go you dipina kulol.
Anyway, guys, it's an interesting conversation. So yeah, Allah baraka bake. So new wakan alama ala indema. Alama ala jisuma bonje.
Change is coming. That's inevitable.
Change is coming, inshallah. But them are ready
for that, seriously.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to change
Yes?
Abdullah.
Yes?
I say we're changing the left of UDP, we're changing lead. Malabi order.
Yes. Because
left of
the UDP leadership, they are patriotic upright Gambians, means that they have been tested and know more than what they did for Gambia. So I think it's high time that government.
Ale Fonsaje, Ale Fonsaje, Ale Fonsaje, Ale Fonsaje. Nada bosanka baluo, Ale Fonsaje. Meuseni dabo julalema, Ale Fonsaje. Juloka manla maje, Ale Fonsaje. Ni aja manla maje, Ale Fonsaje. Suluo simmeneleda, Ale Fonsaje. Useni masata, Ale Alale amansa andi ale ponsai mbaro da bodima ale ponsai mbaro da bodima ale ponsai enu mukunda da bodima ale ponsai alale bate jola ale ponsai masole bate jola ale ponsai aye Gambia bondi bata kono ale ponsai maje molu bele sewota Arabe ninkeraye, ale bonsai. Manso be ninkeraye, ale bonsai. Usen bodanyani dobo, ale bonsai. Dobo gae usen, ale bonsai. Anata kombo tumami, ale bonsai. Londo nata kuli, ale bonsai. Okaelo adabo, ale bonsai. Ayadogu oge Gambia Kai Mandela Ale Fonsa Mayinduru Kema Ale Fonsa Alafo Salida Bokema Ale Fonsa Adale Bate Joda Ale Fonsa Jilansi Sedima Ale Fonsa Ganja Mane Dimma Ale Fonsa Salisu Are Dimma Dem Ale Fonsa Jari Jalo Dimma Ale Fonsa Jari Fulo Dimma Ale Fonsa Tida Sise